Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Philadelphia fans, we're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
How's 10-1 feel? How's 10-1 feel? Woo! Let's go, baby. Welcome in. Happy Monday. It's been a minute since we got a chance to hang out. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. B. Brooks, do it, man.
10-1, man. This is unbelievable, bro. 10-1. Say what you want to say, bro. Look at however we're going to look at it. I ain't got a lot to bitch about right now. 10-1. I'll find something. I can go in and diagnose some stuff.
We're great at finding things.
Oh, no question. I ain't watched the film yet. I know I could bitch about, certain things like the special teams. But other than that, man, I tell you what, bro. It's really not a lot to complain about.
I agree with you, man. And we see everybody in the chat. Chris D, of course, Mama Brooks.
Mama Brooks is downstairs, man. She's actually cooking me these little pies, man. They really like it. Man, she did, bro. She's hooking it up, bro. But I refuse to let her make me even more fatter.
I don't know. You can't say no to Mom. What's up, Jeremy, Mr. Taz, Darius, William, Showtime, KWKC, Stephen K, Christian, Adam, Daz. I'm awake. Are you, Jimmy G? What's up, everybody? Sorry if I missed anybody, but we appreciate you hanging out with us in the chat section. Everybody streaming, everybody listening. Yeah, man. It was one of those games last night where Barrett, it looked like it was going to be a blowout. It looked like the Eagles was going to run away with this thing. And then Green Bay kind of punched back a little bit. And then it just turned into one of those crazy games. It was just back and forth.
It did.
Wow. There was a lot going on in that thing.
Well, at no point during this game did I feel as though they were going to lose. I'll admit that. Like, I didn't have a woozy feeling in my stomach like, oh, they might lose this game. I never felt like they were going to lose it. But I did see some stuff that made me a little bit concerned. But I thought we were going to win the game for sure.
I'm with you.
There's a lot of bettors that are pissed off right now, but, yeah.
Well, look, and Derek's going to be joining us in a little bit. He's stuck in some of that Delaware traffic, so he's going to be joining us in a little bit, and I'm sure we'll debate this regarding the defense because I didn't think they played that bad. But
me too.
Yeah, I think the special teams and the offense set them up for failure on a couple of situations. But we'll get into that. I agree with what some people are saying in the chat. It should have been more of a relaxing win, but they rarely are in the NFL, man.
But especially with the best daggone quarterback the past, 5 years?
Right.
The two-time MVP is across from you on the field. I mean, I know we're a little spoiled. I get it. But, I mean, say what you want to say. We want to see how he's going to fare against the upper echelon quarterbacks in the NFL.
Right.
Well, we got it.
Yeah. No, we got it in like I said, in a historical way. Okay. We got it to the tune of, I mean, look, these numbers are nothing short of remarkable what the Eagles were able to do last night. So let's talk about it as a team. They rip off 363 on the ground. That's the second most in the history of the franchise. Now, this team's been around since 1933. Okay. That's a long time. This team's been around.
A long time. Yes.
So you rip 363 off, and then Hurts by himself goes for $157, which is the most. And here's the thing, Barrett. Think about this historically. You've had Randall Cunningham, you've had Donovan McNabb, and you've had Michael Vick. Okay, you're talking about 3, and I know Donovan, at some point kind of got away from running as much, but you're talking about when he was young. You talk about 3 guys who were as prolific with their legs in the league. I'm not going to say as anybody, but, are right there in any conversation, in any top 10, top 5 discussion you have in terms of runners. For Hurts to surpass all of those guys last night is an amazing feat, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For him to go out there and run the offense, I mean, he crushed them early. He let them know, look, I'm the best player on the field early. He let them know that early. I mean, that drive where it was like a 70-yard drive, the first drive, I forget what the numbers were, that first drive, but on the first drive, he goes out, it's like 70 yards. He's got like 56 rushing on his own. And how he, he broke their back in the aspect that, all right, we're rushing him. We're going to get there to him. And he gets out and he takes it not just for the first down of 10 yards, but he takes like 20 yards down the field.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what made me think like, wow, this kid's got it. He's got it. So they had to change how they played the defense. They may have came in with the mindset, all right, we're running this defense against this quarterback.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to stop him. He changed all of that. He made them change their whole playbook and play the game in a different sense because usually people try to mug him and have a mugger on him, or spy him.
Spy.
For what? You got to have somebody that's faster than he is.
Yeah, and the other thing is the Eagles countered that. They were able to counter it every time they put through a spy on. The thing with him is, like, mind you, he's got a great offensive line, and especially in terms of run blocking. Nobody would deny that. But he makes so many back-breaking plays when they have him. Cuts, breaks a tackle. He's so strong and he's so elusive that, Barrett, you could speak to this. I know you played on the offensive side, but the defenders, it just demoralizes you, man, when he makes those kind of plays, when you think you're going to get off the field on third down and you don't. Right.
Like it sticks it to him. Like you have everybody covered out there. You have everybody covered. There's nobody that can get to him, when they're rushing the passer. There's one guy right there. I almost out, and he's gone. I mean, the defensive coordinator's like, look, I got everything done exactly where I have it. Then, he gets out.
Yep.
That's ridiculous, man. And, by the way, I'm tired of the Christmas song. Hey, Jordan, we got to get back to basics, bro. We got to go out there and start fighting a little better. Better again. You know what I'm saying? We got to play. Jordan, I love Jordan Mailata. Love him.
Yeah. But
he's got to finish plays. He's got to play at the level in which he sees his counterpart on the side. Lane Johnson's playing at an all-pro level. He
dodged a bullet last night with that cheap shot from Amos, by the way.
Yes, he did. He
went to cut him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his leg, if it had been a second earlier, his leg would have been planted in the ground.
And or if you're playing on that ridiculous turf.
Exactly.
Thank God it's grass at the link. And he's crazy athletic, too. He sort of leaped it a little bit, too.
Yeah.
But, I can't figure out my lot. I don't know. Is it still the shoulder? Like, why is he taking a step back this year? I don't know.
I think it is still a shoulder, and it's not. I don't know what his pain threshold is. He's definitely not playing at the level I've seen him play at. That's for daggone sure.
Yeah.
I think he's not finishing plays. He's great when he finishes plays, when he gets that dog nasty attitude. And I didn't see it yesterday. So I guess that somebody needs to hit Jalen Hurts late or something. Then that dog comes out, and now he wants to just rip everybody's head off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, listen, no question, man.
So Hurts go out there and be a sacrificial lamb, just get hit one time, make Jordan a lot of pissed off, and then you have it. I mean, I hate to have to say that, bro. But
no, I hear you. Look, it's again, I think the big thing for me is we'll definitely we're going to get in the offense and we're going to get in the defense and the concerns and everything else and everything went down in the NFL. But for me, Barrett, sometimes you got to take a step back and sort of look around. You step out of the eye of the storm and you kind of look, you're like, oh, okay. They're 10-1. 10-1. I mean, seriously.
And I'm talking about Jordan Mailata.
But
give them a sack. They're 10-1.
They played 11 games and they're already in double-digit wins. Okay, nobody else in the NFL has just one loss, and they play in the hardest division in football, by the way.
Right.
what they're doing is unbelievable. And what Sirianni is doing with the quarterback all year, but the last 2 weeks, we saw him in Indianapolis when nothing was going right and you needed 2 drives at the end of the game, and he did it. You saw him last night on the grandest of stages, Sunday Night Football, which has become bigger than Monday Night Football, by the way.
Yes, it has.
Against a GOAT guy. I know Rodgers hasn't had that kind of year, but he's still freaking Aaron Rodgers. Right. And, you win. Like, he's answering every test, like every question that you have, the dude is stepping up and answering. And, he's had an unbelievable season. He really has. And the team is playing it at they're setting themselves up to have a bye, which is hard to do because you only get one in each conference, and home field advantage throughout.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they're doing everything the right way, bro. Everything the right way. With the exception of special teams.
Yeah, which we're going to get into. It's
right. We'll get into that.
Not good.
I looked at it, man, and to have 200 yards rushing by just your running backs is an amazing feat. But then to have over 150 by your quarterback, come on, man.
He had 100 yards in the first half, in the first quarter.
100 yards in first. I saw JAKIB posted something. He's the first quarterback in 30 years that had 100 yards rushing in just one quarter. I mean, that broke their back. Amazing. But then, they got up 2 scores, and then all of a sudden they kick a field goal and they miss it. I mean, an extra point and they miss. I'm like, Elliot, what are you doing?
Yeah, and he's been the saving grace here on special teams. He's been the lone guy that you were good with.
Well,
to his credit, he hit a money field goal late.
Money. 54 yards?
Yeah, big one.
Money, and we needed that.
Yep.
But it seemed like, we went up 2 scores, 2 touchdowns, missed the extra point. But then, they fight right back. Green Bay comes down, and you just see why A-Rod's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, brings them right back. They execute the offense, through passing and running with their tailbacks. I mean, A.J. Dillon looked good. He looked good.
He did.
Even though they only had 100 yards rushing, it didn't seem as though they had just 100 yards rushing because how they used their backs. That little flare route, it wasn't even a real route. It was a little flare out route out of the backfield and just, dumped it off to the running backs on the side. And man, I tell you what, A.J. Dillon had some guys making some business decisions coming downhill.
That is a large human being, man.
250, fast, strong, great balance. He was coming downhill. So that kind of prepared us what we're going to see with King Henry coming up here this week.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, you get Derrick Henry coming off his team losing and him not doing anything. So he's going to be an angry young man. That's for sure. Coming into this week, no doubt. But yeah, I'll throw this out there to you, Barrett. We certainly all, I think, default into when this question is asked, Chiefs. Some people still throw the Bills out there. Some people want to throw the Cowboys, whatever. Are the Eagles the best team in the NFL right now?
Absolutely. No question. Even when you talk about Kansas City, I'm not talking about just the NFC. I'm talking about the best in the NFL.
NFL, yep.
Yes, they are the best team in the NFL because they're a better team all around. A better team all around. Say what you want to say with Patrick Mahomes being the best quarterback. I'm not taking that away from Patrick Mahomes. He is still the elitist as far as quarterbacks in the NFL. But player for player, we are better than that team. You know what I'm saying? Athlete for athlete, we are better than that team. Defense, we're better than that team. We have more of a solid foundation than Big Red has with his team, period. We're a better team. We're better composed. We got better athletes. We got better schemes. I mean, we're a better team.
Yeah.
Said you want to say about Andy. Andy can draw up schemes, but I'll tell you what, Shane Steichen is, we won't have him much longer. Put it like that. We won't. In fact, I can see Arizona's coach getting fired and Shane Steichen being the first candidate in there.
Wow. Okay. Look, I just love the fact that they can beat you so many different ways.
Exactly.
When they have to have it, that running game is there. Whether that's Jalen, whether that's Miles Sanders, that the running game is there when they have to have it.
How good does Miles Sanders look, man?
He's been awesome, man. Look, he is. That's going to be a very difficult decision for a guy who's a free agent. But no, he's been awesome, and pace for over 1,200 yards. His yards per carry is phenomenal. He hasn't given the ball away this year. He's getting in the end zone a ton. He didn't score at all last year.
Got 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's having a great year.
I love his running style now. You know, he learned from Howard, and now he's doing it the right. Reminds me a lot of Le'Veon Bell on how patient he runs, but once he makes that decision to go, he goes.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't pitter-patter in the backfield.
No.
None of that running to
he's
the
much
outside.
better. Yeah, I agree with you, Barrett. He plants now, and he's not always looking to bounce. It's still there sometimes, but it's definitely nowhere near what it was.
No, I just love his style now. I love that running style that he has, you know, because he waits for the hole to develop, open up, and if there isn't a hole, he'll go make a hole.
Absolutely. And look, let's keep in mind too, you're doing this. AJ Brown was not himself last night, and I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just saying the dude's sick, you know, and I don't know if you saw that shot of his eye, Xander. Maybe we could pull that up, a still shot from AJ Brown in the locker room last night, meeting with the media. It looked like a special effect, Barrett. His bloodshot eye. It was from a blood vessel that he popped when he was throwing up. It's nasty. He was so sick. He lost 5 to 7 pounds.
Wow.
That he was throwing up so hard that he popped a blood vessel in his eye. We have it. Okay. Yeah, Xander, throw that up there, man. Check, dude. That's not a special. That's not CGI. Okay.
Oh, that's nasty.
So he's been sick all week. Talked to Quez Watkins last night, and he was like, dude, he came back from Thanksgiving like really ill, and he dropped 5 to 7 pounds. So anyway, he's not himself. You're doing this without Goddard. My point is, you can run it down teams' throats. You can throw it because Hurts has taken that step as a passer. You can hurt him a lot of different ways offensively, and it's a very diverse offense, and I think it's the biggest strength of this team.
He has done everything the right way up until the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, since the Washington game when he.
You're talking about AJ.
AJ, yeah,
yeah, with the turnover. The turnovers have to get cleaned up. There's no doubt.
Yeah, with the pick, the ball was in his hands. He usually gets that, but like I said, he was hampered then.
Couple of fumbles.
His ankle was injured last week with the fumble. I equate that to his ankle, you know. But see, one thing about it, when you're on the field, when you're in between the lines, there's no excuses. You can't give any excuses. You know, there's no more, you know, I did this. No, once you're in between them lines, you got to go out there. You got to play. You got to go. You know what I'm saying? There's no more excuses. You know, if you're out there, that means you're ready to play. Mm-hmm. Then, you know, with the fumble he had this week, I don't think it's something that is going to happen, you know, much more. This is not something that he usually does. But he's got to stop it now. It's got to stop. You know what I'm saying? But I think he'll have a little bit of vendetta against his former team. Yeah. And we might get that old AJ back.
Oh, I agree. I think you're going to have edgy AJ.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to be ready to go, man. That's for sure. So, yeah, look, there are so many positives to take away from this. And I get it. Like when it's your team, you will dig into the negatives, the issues. I think in part, we just sort of do that by nature as Philadelphia sports fans. But I think part of it, too, is you're also looking at big picture. Oh, maybe this can bite us down the line. Maybe this is going to be an issue down the line. But what I would just caution people who do that, who really dig too hard into certain things, is every team you could make the same case. Like there are people in Kansas City right now that are looking at, you know, something about their team and saying, we're not good enough here. We don't do this well enough, you know, and every team, right? At San Francisco, et cetera, all the teams that you feel like are going to be the contenders here, either in your conference or to win a Super Bowl. There are certain things that you can dig into and just find, you know, take issue with. And to have a second-year head coach and a second-year quarterback as a starter, I know he's in his third year altogether, but a second year as a starter, to have those situations with a good amount of new faces that you added this year and to come out of the blocks 10-1 is nothing short of remarkable. I mean, I look at what's left, Barrett. I think this week's going to be a tough week.
Yes.
I really do. I find this to be one of a challenge kind of week. You have the Titans coming off a loss. They're going to be pissed off, et cetera. But I think this is a tough game. I think at Dallas is going to be tough on Christmas Eve.
Absolutely.
You know, and we'll see how the two Giant games go. I mean, I don't think they're going to be easy by any stretch. So, you know, potentially there could be 2 more losses here. But if that's the case and you end this thing 14-3, and I think that will get you home for, I mean, it's amazing.
No question. So you got Titans, you got Giants, you got Bears, you got Cowboys, you got Saints, and you got Giants again.
Yeah.
I can't see us losing. At the most, I mean, it'll be a tight. To me, it'll just be tight with the Cowboys. I think we have a prototype on a prototype defense on how to stop King Henry. Since he just did it.
Since he did just do it. Green Bay did a nice job on him the week
Green
before.
Bay did it also.
Yeah.
So they held him at 80 yards.
Yeah.
If you can stop him from getting him going, you got a legitimate shot at beating that team.
Yeah.
And I think with the addition of Sue and Joseph, it really helped the defense stop the bleeding. Because it looked like they had a lot of yards rushing, but they literally didn't. They had 100 yards rushing in the game.
I know. You know what? I couldn't believe it. We were about midway through the fourth quarter, and I'm looking at the stats. I'm looking at the box score, and it didn't surprise me what A.J. Dillon's numbers were. But I look at Aaron Jones, and I'm like, that can't be right. It felt like he ran for way more than he did. He did very little damage on the ground, Aaron Jones. I know he caught the one, but he did very little damage on the ground, and his yards per carry weren't good either.
Nope, exactly. Because he's one of the better all-around backs in the NFL.
Yeah.
He does a lot of things very, very well.
Very good player, man.
Yeah.
Really good.
You saw him catching out the backfield. Come on, man.
Oh, my! Receivers don't make that play that he made.
Right.
Don't do it. Hey, listen to this from Tom Pelissaro of the NFL Network. So, did you realize, Barrett, the Eagles could clinch a playoff spot this week potentially?
How was that?
So, if they win, they need Washington to lose at the Giants, Seattle to lose at the Rams, and San Fran to lose versus Miami.
Wow.
It's not crazy, but the fact that what's crazy is we're heading into their 12th game and we're already talking about them potentially clinching a playoff spot. But
yeah, that's the
scenario. So the Vikings can clinch the North if win versus the Jets plus Detroit loses to Jacksonville. Like, so Minnesota's almost, and by the way, that loss last night was the goodbye Green Bay. 4-8.
Exactly.
That's
done.
over. That's over,
They're
Johnny.
But see,
we may not be seeing Aaron Rodgers.
I'm also looking at Tampa Bay. What up, bro?
There he
Good
is.
afternoon, gentlemen.
His armed escort from Atlantic City to Delaware did not get him home quickly enough.
Ocean, they got to put you on the speed lane, bro, to get you down here next time.
Look,
right?
the entire season clear sailing. All of a sudden today, after Thanksgiving, New Jersey decides they want to fix back roads.
There you go.
I hit three.
Jersey alone.
Yeah.
Leave Jersey alone.
Let me tell you something. That's why I'll never move to Jersey. I can't do it. It's too much. Jug handle turns drive me nuts. It's a good country drive. I enjoy the drive when I'm at a leisure. But when I'm in a hurry to get somewhere, man, you know what? Do your construction overnight. Don't be messing with D-gun time. Daytime is D-gun time. Mess me up, man. It normally takes me like a little under 2 hours to get home. It took me 2.5 to get home today.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a long one. That's a long one. So, all right, let's Barrett and I have been kind of rehashing everything that went down in sort of a big picture frame here. First and foremost, you get a win and you're 10-1. Which is nothing short of remarkable. And I just laid out, Tom Pelissaro of the NFL Network laid out the scenario for the Eagles. They need some help, but they could potentially clinch with a win and some help this weekend, Derek. They can clinch a playoff spot. That's craziness. But give me your overall impressions of the win and just sort of where things are right now.
First of all, their running game, it was like watching Alabama go against Texas A&I.
Homecoming. It looked like a homecoming game.
Alabama homecoming game against the Sisters of the Poor.
Yeah.
49 rushes, 363 yards. Jalen Hurts, 103 rushing yards in the first quarter. I had to look at that number twice as the game unfolded.
Yeah.
And, I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be interesting because Green Bay had just held Tennessee to 87 total yards rushing the week before. We all know what Derrick Henry is. They were a worse tackling team than the Eagles. That was putrid what they put out on their field last night. But
bitterness. There's a little bitterness, Barrett.
No, because see, you're not listening. See, let me go back to the movie White Men Can't Jump. See, I've used this many times. See, you're listening to D-Gun, but you're not hearing D-Gun.
Okay.
I told you back in September. What did Barrett? Did I not tell you guys exactly what Green Bay was? Have I not told you this all season? They cannot stop the run, and they have all kind of communication problems on the back end of a defense. Have I not stated that all year?
Yeah.
So going into this game, I had an inner peace, Rob. I wasn't expecting much. Aaron Rodgers announces he has a broken thumb. Did he look like he had a broken thumb last night? No.
No, I think it's convenient when it gets brought up.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, look at it. Everybody was predicting this was going to be his last hurrah, his swan song. If they were going to be losing the game, that he would, basically just sit down for the rest of the season. He found a way to go out there and say his ribs hurt and, all this and all that.
Right.
I don't care. So what? Green Bay's gone.
They're done. But what a masterful performance by the Eagles offense. And as I stated a few weeks ago, it's quite evident. And I know we're going to talk later in the show about the things that concern us about this Eagles team.
Injury, my fault. Oblique.
With the thumb.
This Eagles offensive line is definitely built more for the running game, more so than the passing game.
Absolutely.
And that's a concern. But we'll go into that a little bit later. But in terms of how they can just maul people at the line of scrimmage when they want to in the running game, and you got Jason Kelce running down the field like a tight end. Lane Johnson, told us last night on our post-game show that the most effective play, he didn't want to give too much away because obviously they're going to use it again and again. But basically the most effective play was, look at how many times you saw Lane pulling down the line and filling the hole to the left side of the center. Those trap runs there, that sprung a lot of their runs. And they just kept using it over and over and telling the Packers defense, stop us if you can, and you can't. Yeah. But the fact that you ran for 369 yards, 49 carries, you imposed your will on a week.
You had 30 more plays than the other team did.
30 more plays.
Smacking it up, flipped them, and rubbed them down.
If they could have easily run the ball 65 times and put the game out of reach by halftime.
The
game should have been over at halftime. I don't understand. There was one series where they went to I gotta look at my chart sheet. I think they threw the ball 15 consecutive times or something like that. And I'm thinking, why? You don't need to pass the ball.
You have something that's unstoppable. And that's the thing. For me, no matter what the circumstances, running the ball travels well in cold and late in the season and all that, playoffs and all that. You have that. That's there no matter what.
And as we saw in the game last week against Indianapolis, they can turn that running game on at any time they want. That's a luxury most teams in the NFL do not have. They get away from the run, they allow opponents to stay in the game, and then all of a sudden they turn it on when they realize and the opposing team cannot stop them, cannot get them off the field.
Exactly.
But that was a good comeback game for them in terms of two previous games. The offense sputtered. Everything, for the most part, worked to perfection for this team, this particular game. So, you build on this because now you're going to be coming up against stouter defenses. Tennessee's defense ain't no joke.
No.
Giants' defense ain't no joke. Dallas, we know what their forte is. They're susceptible to the run, but they can kill you on the pass rush. You do not want to pass more than you run the ball against Dallas. Plain and simple.
No.
Plain and simple. So this was a get right. I call them a get right game. This was a get right game for them in a lot of ways.
Yep, absolutely. All right, when we come back, we're going to dig into the offense a little bit more, give you some more numbers, get a little bit more in depth. Then we're going to do. I think Gunnar and I are going to spar on the defense at 1 o'clock. I'm looking forward.
We're going to spar. We're going because. I am officially. Let me just say this now. I'm going to set the stage right now. Your Ganwagon. I've got a whole 2-gallon bottle of kerosene. I'm torching that Ganwagon.
No, you won't be able to catch it. The Ganwagon's moving so quickly, you won't be able to even get there.
It's not.
That's terrible that you're thinking like that because if you take away last year, just erase last year's Gannon, and you put Gannon up this year and have him coming in as a first-year head coach, the numbers that he's putting up. Everything that he's doing, you would put him up there with the likes of the guys that were there before.
Jim Johnson,
Buddy Ryan, Jim Johnson, Bud Carson. Those are the type of numbers that he's putting up on the defensive side of the ball.
I am impressed with the overall numbers. I am not attributing any of those numbers to him. It's the quality of players that they have on their defense. Barrett, now come on now. Look at the caliber of players they have on their defense.
We'll start. I should have started.
Safe. Don't get me started.
Okay.
Because
all right. We'll get.
I'm going to bring up one scenario in that segment, and this is what irks me the most, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to save this.
Okay. And I will state the specific case last night specifically, but we'll do a general thing too. Why? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 of Green Bay scoring opportunities were 100% on something else rather than the defense. We'll do that. Well, now let's do the defense next. Screw it. We'll do the defense when we come back. We'll do the offense after that. All right. We will get into the defense when we come back. All right. We will do that. Don't go anywhere. Man, we like the Victory Monday. It is fun. Eagles 10-1 at this point. They're rolling a big one this upcoming week against Tennessee, but we're going to look back at last night's game, and we'll continue to do that. And also another wild week in the NFL, week 12. And we're heading into week 13.
That's
after
crazy.
Tonight, it is week 13.
Jeez. Look,
what is going on?
Dude, December is this weekend.
I know.
Are you kidding
28th?
me? Are you kidding me? December is this weekend already.
It is nuts how fast it goes. All right.
I'll be miserable until March.
Yeah, you're in trouble for a while now. We know.
Yes,
that.
yeah, because it's getting colder, and
you're going to be Oscar the Grouch. We know that.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
We know.
As my wife would tell you, that's every day, but that's another story.
Derek the Grouch. All right, we'll do all that when we get back. We'll dive into the defense when we return. Don't go anywhere. Barrett, Derek, Rob. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let's talk about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group. Because look, you know how hard it is to find the right person to trust with your finances, with all your hard-earned work, and you want to be set up for later in life, right? You want to be able to be taken care of, to let the fruits of your labor, do their thing, right? And finding the right person is very difficult. But I can tell you from personal experience, I found someone to trust with my finances, and that's Jim and Principal Financial Group. So whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review, you have a small business, you want to set up your employee benefits, that's another resource that Jim Murray can help you with. I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollover to Jim, and I couldn't be any happier. You will be too, I promise you. 610-996-4751. 610-996-4751 is how you reach him. You can also email him, Murray, Murray, .jim@principal.com. That's Murray.jim@principal.com.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted, revered.
Appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate. Honest.
And fair. He is extremely dedicated, motivated, and always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader, and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Back, everybody. Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis hanging out with you on this Monday. Again, wishing everybody, hope you had a great Thanksgiving, had some time to get away, catch up with family, hang out, just recharge a little bit. Back
Needed
at it
that.
today. Yes.
Needed that.
What did we do, Barrett? What was your, how was your Thanksgiving? We didn't get a chance to get into this too much.
You know, I couldn't really get down with the food, man.
Uh-oh.
Could
you even eat turkey? Turkey's pretty easy, right? No,
I ate some.
No,
turkey.
you don't want to get that meat in the hole when you have the surgery.
Bro, I was squishing it out, and then I chew some, get it down, and squish it out. Man, it was
so you
time consuming.
So you eating baby food then, right?
Yeah, bro. I'm still not all the way cool yet. You know, like I still can't just eat anything I want to eat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because my mouth is kind of sore.
Anything crunchy, and you got to be
careful. Right. So you know, it's been a pain in my butt, bro. Wait. I just want everybody on the stream to know I'm sitting back, I'm doing another show. And what does D Gun text me from out of nowhere? Bro, you gotta leave them wooden teeth alone, man.
George
That's
Washington.
why you had to get the wooden teeth. I'm like, who does that while I'm working, man?
All right, it's not right. It's wrong, man.
It's wrong, man. It is wrong.
So Barrett, did you have folks at your house? Or what was the
No, actually I had the kids, my mom.
Okay.
One of my wife's friends came over with her significant other, and like two other people. It wasn't a lot of people at all.
Okay, just kind of low key.
Yeah, usually I have like maybe 20 extra people in my house, but it wasn't that way this time.
That's good.
And then I made everybody take everything when they were leaving. I made people take out those. Like I told, look, we ain't cooking a whole lot of food. We cooked enough. We ain't cooking a whole lot of food, and as people are leaving, I told them pack stuff as they go. Go.
Take the leftovers.
Man. Like by Friday evening, I was done with the leftovers. I didn't want any more leftovers. I was done with Thanksgiving, bro.
Okay.
Done.
All right. Fair enough. Now, Barrett, Derek, I know Barrett had to kind of take it easy. I know you did. So how was the gun Thanksgiving?
We air fried a turkey, and let me tell you something. These air fryers, man, are ingenious. Just, you know, it's called the Big Easy charbroil air fryer. Oilless. Don't use oil. These things are unbelievable. I saw so many videos over the weekend of people using deep fried turkeys, which is really good. Yeah. And you see some of the videos where people put too much oil in the cylinders, and you got oil spilling over, flames jumping up everywhere. We had all the kids here, the grandkids, and my son-in-law's parents were here as well.
Okay.
My wife does not know how to cook small quantities of anything. You know, she always cooks way more than enough. Man, this woman did apple pie, a cheesecake, a blueberry pound cake, and you know, plus we had cookies. My daughter Tina made these unbelievable like chocolate chip cookies and stuff too. And so we were giving food away. My son-in-law's parents were like, that's enough. We kept giving them more. We didn't want all that stuff, man. So we had enough. What do you want? What?
Where's my package at, bro?
You couldn't eat. You got holes in your mouth. You couldn't eat anything. What did you want me to do?
I could have saved it. I could have saved some.
What?
Them, you know I love them cookies, man.
Dude, her chocolate chip cookies.
Then you're going to talk about it.
And then my daughter Tina now has let me ask you real quick. Hey, Trish, is Tina's chocolate cookies on par with yours? A half a point? That's pretty good. He said Tina's are only a half point. Yeah, Tina's cookies.
They're a half point behind.
Yeah, Tina's cookies
a
are
half point behind. I like that.
She's challenging mom for the title when it comes to these chocolate chip cookies now. What's that? She ain't gonna win. but we had just enough of the air fried turkey, and then on top of that, my wife had a 12-pound bird, and the birds, the breast of the bird was like, hey, this ain't enough white meat for all these people. So I went out and bought an additional, just a turkey breast, and did that as well.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. But it was
Good.
It was a good time. It was nice to have some extended time off just to get away. Not to get away from you guys, of course, but just to get away and chill and hang out. And then, of course, the biggie, the day after Thanksgiving. If you saw my house right now, it is like Santa's workshop, because we have all these trees up. The whole fire, I'll send you guys some pictures after today. The whole fireplace is decorated with these little lights that illuminate. She's putting her trees up in the dining room and on the china cabinets. I've got a 9-footer and 2 7-foot trees already up and decorated. And then me and my son-in-law, Alex, we went outside and we got the front yard set up as well. So we got the whole arsenal going. And dude, let me tell you something. I paid the price. I'm going up and downstairs. My knees, my back, my shoulders.
You're hurting, man.
I still ain't recovered. What about you? You went out to eat,
I
right?
went out. It was great. Like, no prep, no cleanup.
Wow.
Went to
That's ingenious, bro.
Oh, it was a buffet. You got whatever you wanted.
Yep. How's the food?
As many helpings as you. Good. Real good, man.
Okay.
Really
Where'd
good.
you go?
And we went to a place called the Townhouse in Media, and it was great. Like, we just ate, chilled, pounded down some dessert.
Wow.
Back home in an hour and a half, man. And we watched the movie. That's it. I mean, it was great.
Bro,
I love it.
I'm thinking about doing, like, I spoke, I do my show with Jaws.
Yeah.
Yesterday he said they always do theirs on Wednesday evening. Number one, people don't come by till late when it's Wednesday because people still work. So everybody be there around 5 o'clock. They'll eat. There's no football games on, so people don't linger around. They eat and go. I'm thinking to myself, that's ingenious. So that way on Thursday, I have all the time in the world to watch football.
That's pretty cool. I got to tell you, man.
That's ingenious
cool.
too.
Wow, that's awesome.
Right.
Next level stuff there. I like it.
So then his kids can go back and fix their dinners on Thursdays and have Thanksgiving dinner with their families and their in-laws and stuff.
Right.
On Thursdays. I said, man, you should have told me this a couple years ago. I'd have been doing this. So that's what I'm doing next year. Just so you guys know, we're doing our show next year.
Yeah.
I'll be celebrating Thanksgiving on Wednesday.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. You're going to adopt the tradition. I like it.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Chris D says, hey, D Gun, can you do a video walkthrough of the house with all the holiday decorations for us to watch? Well, Chris, let me just put it like this. There's a possibility, because I have to get approval from the boss first. And if the rooms are not the way she wants them, it's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you that right now. So,
understandable.
Because she'll say, you put that video out there and the rooms were dirty and weren't, so I can't do it without approval. So it may take a few days, because right now there are boxes everywhere, stacked up everywhere, man. So once they clean it all out, it may take 3 or 4 days up. But I'll send you guys just certain pictures of certain things. But yeah,
we'll pass those along. All right, good. I like it. I'm glad everybody I hope everybody out there, like I said, had a great Thanksgiving for sure. And you want to share what you ended up doing, we'll talk about that as well. All right, so let's dig into the defense. We're gonna you generally do the offense, especially when they ran for 6,000 yards, I think it was last night officially. We would normally do that, but let's go there. All right, let me state my case for why I'm not laying this all on the defense. I'm not absolving them completely. All right, let me just say that. Okay, so first touch. I'm talking. These are Green Bay touchdowns and a field goal. First touchdown. What led to that was a 41-yard return. Okay, and we're going to talk about the special teams, which are awful. They're not even
special ed is what the special teams are.
Farthest thing from special, but Nixon has a 41-yarder that leads to the first touchdown. The second touchdown, the Eagles, if you remember, went forward on 4th and 1 from their own 36. And for the life of me, I don't know what happened on that play. Kelsey doesn't really snap it. Hurts sort of fumbles it. Miles Sanders recovers it. And however it shook out, you turn the ball over on downs at your own 36. Go ahead, Barry.
Just from listening to players' interviews and everything, hearing what Kelsey even said, what it was somebody on the defensive side of the ball was given a false count.
A Brandon Graham,
which is illegal, by the way.
Which is illegal, yes. And they didn't get caught with it.
Okay.
That's why you see Seumalo come off the ball. Okay. That's why Kelsey
they looked like 2 false starts. It looked like 2 false starts. Yeah.
Kelsey snapped it and held the ball there while he was moving.
Right.
And kept it between his legs while he's moving.
Which is supposed to be illegal anyway. Like there was like 8 different violations on that play, and nothing ended up getting called. So anyway, however it shook out, it wasn't the traditional snap it to Jalen, push him from behind, and he gets the first down like they almost always do. They didn't get it. So you turn the ball over on downs at the 36. That gets you to the second. So at that point, it's 14-13 because Eagles missed an extra point. Then the third touchdown was a result of A.J. Brown fumbling. That made it 20-20. Okay. Then you fast forward to the field goal that cut it to 40-33. There was a 55-yard return there. Okay. Now, I'm not telling you that the defense doesn't need to stiffen up and overcome stuff, because that's the way it goes in the league. Like, bleep's going to happen. You got to overcome stuff.
Right.
You're talking about all kinds of errors elsewhere that lead to, let's see, 24 of the points that the Packers scored were a result of either the special teams sucking or the Eagles turning it over or not getting a fourth down at their own 36. Derek, have at it.
Mr. Ellis, I have listened to your dissertation. I have absorbed it. I am taking everything into consideration. But as my colleague and former NFL brethren, Barrett Brook, has told us, or tried to tell us, from the start of this season all the way up until last week, you basically have Pro Bowl caliber players at just about every position on this defense.
Yes.
Okay. No other team in the league, maybe Buffalo, can say that about their defense. Okay. This team with this bend but don't break mentality has broken me for the last time. They play too far off the dang ball. Why won't they play press coverage? I don't understand this. You let this 38-year-old man, Aaron Rodgers, one of his claim to fame is if he gets outside the pocket, he is going to kill you. And he did it with a laser down the middle of the field to Aaron Jones for a touchdown for one. Why they continuously play 7 to 10 yards off of receivers, especially Christian Watson, Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb. We're not talking about Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson. Okay? They're not even close to that caliber player. You need to get up in these dudes' faces and make that quarterback pat the ball that much more. The fact that you're giving them so much cushion allows them to kill you on these slant routes and these quick outs. Prime example, fourth quarter, Rodgers is out. In comes Jordan Love, who's played a grand total of 10 games in his 3-year career, has maybe thrown 85 passes in his entire career. What's the written book on when you got a young quarterback in?
Blitz.
Thank you. You blitz him, right? 3rd and 5 situation. The perfect time to blitz, send the house on this dude to make him throw the ball away. They go with that lame 4-man rush, which let me reiterate again, as I've said every month this season, their 4-man rush is not good enough. I don't care how much you're paying them. It is not good enough, and we've seen it time and time again. Am I right, Mr. Brooks, or am I lying?
I'm quiet right now.
Okay. You brought in Robert Quinn. What did I tell you about Robert Quinn the day they signed him? What did I tell you my people in Chicago told me?
That
they let him go because
he hasn't done anything.
Was he in the witness protection program yesterday? Did he play? How many snaps did he play, Rob?
Look, I'm not. I didn't even check. I don't. Okay. I'm not arguing Robert Quinn. Trust me when I tell you that.
So you let this young Jordan Love step back, complete a 5-yard out. Darius Slay is 10 yards down the field. He completes the 5-yard out. Next play, Christian Watson on a slant over the middle. Was there anybody within 10 yards of Christian Watson? Now, everybody in the
Blankenship,
where was it? In the same county?
Yeah,
was he in the same?
Had some issues. He made a great play earlier, but he had some issues there.
Okay, where's your other big time players? Where are they?
Well,
they're playing balloon defense.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Maddox are on the sideline.
Stop it! Why are one of your Pro Bowl corners not on them?
That wasn't the defense. That wasn't.
What is it? I'll tell you defense. What do you call it?
That defense they were running out there it wasn't a prevent defense, but it was a defense that you keep everything in front of you and you're supposed to go up and make the tackle. They didn't go up and make the tackle.
It was bad execution.
So everybody knows on the planet this young man has 4.3 speed.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. You let him turn the corner. You took it, but they took Epps. They all took back. When a dude with 4.3 speed gets you on his hip, you're not catching him. It's that simple.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bad angle. They let teams stay in games.
But here's the thing, Derek. I hear you, but you conveniently pick and choose. Like you let the players off the hook, but you lay it all on Gannon.
No,
like
no.
You know, your guys are going to make plays too. No,
the players are playing the scheme that's called.
Okay,
for
but
that particular down.
Your front four is supposed to be able to generate pass rush.
I'm not letting the players off the hook. Have I not said the front four is not good enough? How many times have I said that?
I'm just saying. I hear
the front four is not good enough to get consistent pressure on the quarterback. They need help. How do you get more help? Blitz more. You got big money. You got 2 Pro Bowl corners here. Well, until he got hurt, you had a potential Pro Bowl safety in CJ.
Right,
bro. You blitz more. Let these dudes play bump and run. We cannot what?
We cannot downplay how much of a loss Avonte Maddox is.
I agree 100%.
That's huge. Avonte Maddox he means more to this defense than I led on, that they led on.
We hyper focused on Jordan Davis and ignored Maddox being hurt.
The players,
how much he meant to
that's big.
The players are playing the scheme that's called. Okay. Yeah. So I think that's why I put it on again. I think he's handcuffing the talent that he has.
Okay, but just in regards to last night, I hear you, and I do think I would like him to be a little bit more aggressive. In fairness, but you know, there's no getting around this issue with these. In the NFL, the theory now is in 2022, you don't really need great kick coverage because nobody returns kicks anymore.
Yep.
Okay, so here's where that's completely debunked when it comes to the Eagles. Guys are catching the ball 8 yards deep into their own end zone because they know they're going to rip off big runs and they're going to get past the 25. So you do have to have guys, just the fear of it. And nobody's afraid of this bunch. Everybody's taking the ball out of their own end zone.
I think Jake Elliott is probably up there with top kickers in the league as far as tackles.
Well, not only that, Barrett, but when you're a kicker and you kick it 7 yards, 8 yards into the other team's end zone, you're thinking, my job's done.
This was
automatic touchback.
I'm gonna trot off to the sideline and chill.
Right.
Meanwhile, he's got to make plays every time.
That dude Nixon, he took 5 yards deep, brought it 41 yards out. The next one he took 7 yards deep, brought it 53 yards out. I hate to say this. I think special teams is going to cost this team somewhere down the road. I honestly do.
It's a really big fear.
And tackling is still an issue for me with this team. They do a better job sporadically, but not consistently.
Bro, I've been on this for the past 10 weeks. For the past 10 weeks, I've been on it. In fact, I've said it so much that even WIP has a drop. Can we get a Michael Clayton sighting? There is a drop.
Clay? Oh, yes. Yeah.
Can I get a Michael Clayton side?
He looks so overmatched, honestly. I mean, maybe it's the reason you don't give a 26, 27-year-old a coordinator gig.
Right.
Exactly. Now, whoever came up with that idea, well, if he's here next year, I'd be shocked. I would be shocked if he's
here next year. It's a serious problem.
Special team coordinators get fired quicker than any other position in the NFL. And and he seems like a nice young man.
Yep.
Seems like he has potential to be a good coach at some point of his career.
Well, I don't see that.
Maybe special teams is not his forte, Barrett. Maybe he's a DB coach. Maybe I'm saying there might be a position. Maybe so maybe he's a better linebacker coach. Maybe there is a position for him, whether it's in the pro ranks or the college ranks. But giving him the title of special teams coordinator, what was his resume that made him qualified to be a special teams
He's one of
coordinator?
Chip's guys.
Yeah, he's been around. Like he was in the NFL at a really young age.
I get that, but I'm saying what was on his resume that made them think he was a special teams coordinator?
Chip Kelly.
I don't know.
He helped with Chip Kelly. He was on Chip Kelly's staff.
Yeah.
And he left here and then went to San Fran. He was in San Fran and he was
okay. What was his job? What was his job description?
Well, he was an assistant. He was assistant to the special teams coach.
He was an assistant to the special teams coach. Okay.
Why are you laughing there?
Because he's 27, 28 years old. He's 31 years old. Okay. So basically he's still paying his dues in the National Football League. Am I right?
Yeah.
So at 30 years old, what made them think that he was ready to be? Okay, I'm looking at his resume now. He was an assistant special teams coach with the 49ers. assistant special teams coach with the Eagles in 15, assistant strength and conditioning coach, assistant special teams coach. Okay. What made them think he's ready at the age of 30 years old to be a special teams coordinator?
They thought he was savant. They thought it was DeMarco Ryan. DeMeco
Ryan?
Yeah.
Maybe. He ain't even DeMeco.
Well, they did do one thing that I think was better. Not great, better. Boston Scott returning the kicks looked a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Way better.
So at least there was some kind of adjustment made. Look, I don't know how, if you're Howie, if you're Nick, you can keep ignoring this. Like, I'm not calling for Michael Clay to be fired. I'm not saying
either.
that.
I'm not either.
But I don't know how you keep going into these Mondays after games when that unit is killing you. I don't know.
There's nothing you're going to do at this point to change it.
Right.
Now,
you just have to hope.
You've had 11 games to try to fix some of these problems. Now, some teams will make an adjustment and make more frontline players play on special teams, which is a big risk also. I don't see the Eagles doing that, especially now that they're being hit by the injury bug like other teams.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
No,
so basically it is what it is. Somebody's going to take one to the house on this team at the most inopportune time.
Yeah.
They're getting closer and closer every week, Rob.
It's a hold your breath every time.
Yes.
When it comes to these special teams.
The thing that frustrates me the most, look at the gaping hole. These dudes are not even running on kickoff. They're not even running down full speed.
Yeah.
They're running to a point and basically stopping.
Well, that's his job to make sure that they do.
But Barrett, 11 games into the season is still happening.
Right. So
are they not listening?
Yes, that's what it is. And it says if you're the coach and somebody you has out there is not listening, then it's time to get that person off the field.
Which means you have to put in frontline players, which is not what they want to do.
Well,
they don't want to put frontline players in. Think about it. You already nicked. Think about a position where you want to put a frontline player. You're not going to put one of your frontline DBs on there. You're not going to put one of your frontline linebackers out there.
Why not? Malcolm Jenkins played all special teams.
Yes, he
Trotter
did.
used to.
Yes, he did. But
Trot used to play all special teams.
This team is not doing it. Have they done it up to this point?
No, they haven't.
And we've been screaming about special teams for how many weeks in a row?
Yeah.
They're not doing it.
Yeah.
So what makes you think they're going to do it now?
They're
not going to do it.
I hear you. All right, let's come back and let's go into the offense here, because this was one for the ages last night, what they were able to do. And we'll look back at where it ranks historically with Jalen Hurts, with the rushing game in general. Who else played well? Miles Sanders getting some love also. So we will get into that and some of the offensive ranks where the Eagles are at this point. So we'll come back with all of that. We'll get into some more concerns that we have at 1:30, and we will dive into Week 12 of the NFL coming up at 2:00. So you don't want to go anywhere. We got you. Coming strong. Namaste. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks. We'll agree to disagree. See, this is civil disagreement. That's what it is.
Yes, it's like a brotherly. It's like brotherly love.
We don't name call. We're not getting crazy. But we
agree to disagree.
Yes, and it's beautiful.
And you know what? And I will say this, Rob. I'm proud of the fact that you are standing your ground and you are staying at the helm. You're driving the GAN wagon. I'm proud of you for that. And I tried my best, Rob. If you remember early in the season, I tried my best. I went from hanging on the back of the rail where my feet were hanging out in the wind to putting one leg over the rail. And then all of a sudden I saw some things I didn't like, to the point now
you're off.
I'm paying people to take my ticket on the GAN wagon right now.
The gun wagon. You're on the gun wagon.
I'm taking change to the gun wagon. The gun wagon. Anybody want to get on the gun wagon going this way from the GAN wagon? Come with me.
Yeah. I'm driving the GAN wagon impaired. That's not right. That's not right, man. I like this one. It's GAN wagon, not Gano wagons. Square wheels.
It's the gun wagon.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Lil Tone. See, Lil Tone said, "I'm with you, D Gun." Everybody, all aboard. Showtime. Thank you, brother.
Okay.
Everybody on board the gun wagon.
It's
the gun wagon is going this way. The GAN wagon is going that way.
Gun wagon's stuck in traffic again.
But come on, man. Like, if you look at the numbers, man, the numbers equate to them good, man.
The numbers, yes. The points allowed, all that stuff. But you let a team averaging 18 points a game put up 33 on you, and a backup quarterback came in and just zipped it down the middle field against your defense.
We're ignoring all the other issues I just laid out, D-God.
Hey, you know what? Everybody has false snaps. Everybody has, you know what? Stout defense stands up against the test of time. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
That's all I'm telling you.
Okay.
Gun wagon people, come on with me. Everybody this way. Gun wagon, go this way.
Hit it. All right, let's do it. Let's get a timeout. We'll come back and we will get into the offensive side of the ball. He is Barrett. He's Derek. I'm Rob. We are Sports Day, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let's talk about Pro Action Restoration. Yes, Pro Action Restoration is the place that you call or reach out to if your home, your business, property that you own goes through the inconvenience of water, fire, smoke, mold damage, whatever the case may be. They can handle it. Pro Action Restoration is on call 24 hours, 7 days a week to assist. I can tell you from personal experience, when I called them on a Saturday, they were right over to my parents' house. They fixed the problem, diagnosed it, fixed it. The price was reasonable. The place was clean. The crew was professional. It was really just everything you could ask for in a difficult situation. I can tell you that. Pro Action Restoration is licensed, bonded, and fully insured. They've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company also. So it could be water, it could be fire, it could be smoke damage, mold remediation, you name it. They can handle it. Give them a call, 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted, revered.
Appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate. Honest.
And fair. He is extremely dedicated, motivated, and always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader,
and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us on this Monday. We're Sports Day, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. If you miss any of the show, if there's certain segments you want to go back and check out, guests that we have, just go to jakibsports.com. You can also go to JAKIB Sports YouTube Network as well. That's where you can also catch Gun on One. That's where you can also catch all the great content from John McMullen of Birds 365 and all the excellent stuff that we do on the platform, on the channel in general.
Speaking of Gun on One, this week's guest tomorrow night will be none other than Hugh Douglas, who was just inducted into the Eagles Hall of Fame. What do they call it? Eagles Hall of Fame, Eagles Ring of Honor. What do they call it?
Yeah. I think it is Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Yeah, but we got crazy Hugh Douglas coming on tomorrow night.
Awesome. Yeah, Hugh and Trent Cole.
Yep.
Both guys went in, which is awesome. Good for them. They well deserved, by the way. And it was a good response there. It was a good night. They got their black jackets that they get with the Eagles crest on it. Very cool. Cool stuff for them. Happy for those guys. All right, let's talk about the offense, guys. And we did touch on it in the first segment, but just to reiterate. So last night, the Eagles go for 363 yards. It's the second most they've ever had in franchise history. And Jalen Hurts goes for 157, which is the most for a quarterback in franchise history. I look at the total plays, 79-49. That's utter dominance.
Yes.
They just continue. And part of that is, the defense did a good job on third down too. I think the Packers were 1 for 7, something like that.
Yep.
And the Eagles were 8 for 15, better than 50%. So I think we looked at that Washington game, and the Eagles couldn't get off the field. Washington had way more plays. Last night was sort of the flip side of that. The Eagles offense just churning, and pounding it down Green Bay's throat. It just takes so much from an opposing team with the way that they're able to approach things.
You talk about athleticism along that offensive line and their ability to get out in space, especially when they run those traps. I mean, Jason Kelce to me is a surefire Hall of Famer. Lane Johnson still has not given up a sack in 2 seasons. He's a potential Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, he should be.
That offensive line. The only problem I have with the offensive line is the guard play. The guard play to me is a problem for this team, especially in pass protection. But when you look at the way they maul people when in the run game, I would run that football until you make me stop running the football. And I still don't think Malata's 100% because when he sets the pass, he's still not right. And Barrett, are you seeing that also? This is like 5 weeks in a row. I'm still watching him set for the pass, and it's not right. But when it comes to just you muted, B.
He's not playing aggressive.
Yeah. Why do you think that is, though?
It's hard to play aggressive when you have a weak arm, especially when you're blocking with your shoulders. You're going to be aggressive. That's all you're using. That's why my shoulders are messed up now from all the power and collisions I've had on my shoulder. And can you imagine you have your arm out like this, and a defensive end comes and rips it. When he rips it, he ripped under it. It's a bad feeling, man. It's a bad feeling. So he just isn't healthy yet. He's got to play more aggressive in order for him to stay one of the top tackles in the league. He's going to have to, man. You got to push through the pain, man. But once that pain starts, like I had the same injury to my shoulder, and I did it the 5th down game against Dallas.
Okay.
We ended up getting to the playoffs, and I can remember trying to play on it, and it was tough, man. It was tough. Like that first game we had that next week, we had to play Detroit. And I can remember everybody was having a great time, and, we're whooping Detroit. We're beating the heck out of Detroit. And I am battling for my life. I'm the only guy that wasn't smiling on that team because I'm fighting, scratching, and clawing. Me and Porsche are going at it because my shoulder wasn't right, so I had to overcompensate for it. For some reason, he knew that it wasn't all right because he kept going to it. He kept pushing. He kept hitting and everything else. It's just a hard injury to fight through, especially when you're an offensive lineman like that, and you're especially an offensive tackle where, it's sitting out there and, you're trying to punch with it. And if you try to overcompensate and punch like this, they go right in and then they rip that arm and they right there by the quarterback. So that's a tough injury to have. Very tough.
But when they're just moving ahead, when you think about the size of these dudes, Lane Johnson 6'5", 320, Malata 6'8", 350. When they get out of moving space on a run game or the screen game, it is quite impressive to watch that many big guys move in unison the way they do, and not just initially make contact, but to bounce off an initial block, keep their feet moving, and go downfield and get somebody else in the second level as well. It's just amazing what Jeff Stoutland has done in terms of training these guys to not just be linemen, but to be athletic offensive linemen.
Yeah, no, it is remarkable. And the thing is, They can beat you on schedule and off schedule. Yeah, the on schedule runs, Miles Sanders and some of the scheduled runs with Jalen, but it's just such a killer when you're in a 3rd and 4 and Jalen picks up 5 and then some every single time to keep moving the chains. And I don't know. Look, I'll throw this out there. I don't love that he ran 17 times. I don't love it. I think you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. I'd like to see that be around 10. But do you guys find that sustainable? Are you okay with the direction? Because they clearly tried to get away from it for a few weeks when his rushing attempts went way down, but we're kind of back now the last 2 weeks at least.
Well, I'll let Barrett go first.
Yeah.
This is who this team is.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you're going to get from a dual threat quarterback. These are the intangibles that we talked about that got Jalen Hurts where he is right now. Don't take away from those intangibles. The offense doesn't work right if you don't use those intangibles. You have to have Jalen Hurts as the 11th guy that you have to defend on the field. When you have just a regular drop back quarterback, a la Matty Ice, like they just played, you know exactly where he's going to be. You're just defending the 10 other people on the field. You're not worried about the quarterback being a guy that can go out there and hurt you with his legs. Jalen Hurts can hurt you with his legs, which puts you in a position now that the defense has to account for you. They have to allocate resources to stopping you. That's what makes him such a viable threat. That's what makes this offense run the way it runs. If he's not used in that capacity, it's hard for them to go out there and generate offense, especially when the best tight end, in our division is out. With Dallas Goedert being out, if you look at it, everything was thrown to the outside. Everything was going to the outside. They were defending the outside because they're defending those wide receivers. There was really nothing in the interior. No seam routes, no crossing routes, no dig routes. None of that stuff was in the middle of the field because that's where Dallas Goedert works. We don't have that. So since they didn't have to defend that with Dallas Goedert not being there, they allocated resources to stay out on the edges and try to stop those wide receivers. That's why they could go out there and have those big chunk runs that they have with Jalen Hurts, because there was nobody in there that could, number one, run as fast as he could to stop him. And number two, there was nobody in there to occupy that space in there. And that's why he got most of the yardage that he got, because it was everybody vacated to go cover those guys on the outside. So, that's a yin to the defense's yang. They're able to go out there. All right, you can cover the receivers, but you can't cover the middle of the field also, which will allow your quarterback to go out there and have those runs that he had and how they had some success with that.
Well said.
Okay.
Well said.
I agree 100% with you, Barrett. Jalen Hurts is the most athletic player they have on the offensive side of the football. For all of the talent that they have, from the wide receivers, running backs, he is the most athletic. And his legs are a significant part of his game. But you guys have heard me talk about it time and time again. And Dan Cilio just texted me, 30 carries over the last 2 games is not sustainable. And I agree with him 100%. And there's 2 plays in particular that made me just cringe a little bit. One was when he took off and ran, and he got sandwiched between 3 Packers inside the 5-yard line. He got up real slow then. And then that last run where he sat down, and Rudy Ford, full bore, came in and caught him and bent him over.
Yep.
And I'm thinking neck, back, shoulder, anything at that point. Now, you can't take away his legs because, like Barrett said, the offense doesn't function properly. But I think you have to do a better job of managing. I think they call too many quarterback runs. Now, obviously, you have to run when you have to run. If the receiver's not open, you got to take off and do what you got to do. But I think they call too many quarterback runs for him, to the point where somebody's going to catch him. I can't reiterate enough. You look at some of the best running quarterbacks in the game and the amount of time that they have lost at times because of their ability to run. But let's face it, the athletic quarterback is today's game. And even when you throw in the likes of Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, those dudes will take off and run when they have to. But when you have a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, where you have X amount of design running plays, I think you're putting your quarterback at times in unnecessary harm's way. And I think you have to do a better job of gauging that. Now, I understand it's a vital part of the game, and depending on certain down and distance, If they know you're going to try that quarterback sneak, if you can pull that ball out of the running back stomach and take off around the end, I get that. But I think they sent him too many times up the middle. If he's going to run exclusively to the outside, Jalen Hurts is stronger than most quarterbacks in terms of body build, and he's smart enough to know when to sit down and not take an unnecessary hit. But when you keep sending him up the middle like that, you're putting him in harm's way. You're putting him right in the line of fire of linebackers and safeties just drooling at the opportunity of taking a shot at him.
Yeah, I mean, he is very smart. He is the anti-Mike Vick in terms of putting himself in a good spot. However, 17 times with gigantic athletic guys with bad intentions, they're going to catch you at some point. And
that's some bad juju.
Yeah.
Well,
and Barrett, I agree with you. Like, I don't want to take away what he does. I don't want him to get in that mode that I have to just drop back and be a statue. I don't mean that, but I just think there's a happy medium where it can be a little bit less than this.
Well, I'm going to say this. I played with athletic quarterbacks. I played with the ultimate weapon, Randall Cunningham.
Mm-hmm.
I watched McNabb. I've talked to Michael Vick. I played with Big Ben. Quarterbacks that can take a pounding. We're talking about a guy with a 600-pound squat.
Yep.
Just as strong as most offensive linemen in the league. What makes Jalen different is he also understands what it is and what his place is on this team. So he doesn't put himself in harm's way when he is running. Now, when talking about guys that like Randall Cunningham, he got hurt inside the pocket. Ben got hurt inside the pocket. They tell me it's harder to get hurt when you're running because you're more protective of where you are and you'll slide. Now, Vic didn't know how to slide. That's why he got hit a lot. I understand, you look what happened to RG3. I think when we look at what Jalen Hurts does, he's different in the way he handles the situation. He'll stop, drop, and roll at the drop of a dime. He gets himself out of trouble. How many times do he keep himself from getting a sack and just threw the ball away? Those are the little things that seem like wasted plays, but you can fight another day. Those are the little things that he did that helped his offense and didn't hurt his offense. Those are little things he did that helped that offensive line and kept them on schedule without having a minus play. That's what you see from Jalen Hurts and why he can go out there and use his athleticism like that. Mm-hmm. He's not going to put himself in harm's way. He's not going to do that. Yes, they have guys out there that are, 100 pounds more than him with definitely some bad intentions. But I think he understands that what his worth is on this team and what he means to this team. And he knows he can't go out there and risk not being a player on this team. So he protects himself a little more than most quarterbacks. He definitely protects himself more than Allen.
But I'll counter with this also, Barrett. Now you look at some of the quarterbacks who preceded Jalen Hurts just in this Eagles organization. Okay, Michael Vick was the ultimate weapon before the ultimate weapon became fashionable. Okay, do you know that when he assumed the role of a starting quarterback in the National Football League, he only played a full season once in 2006? And if you look at his tenure with the Philadelphia Eagles, he played 12, 13, 10, 7. And then his last two seasons with the Jets in Pittsburgh were basically throwaways. Donovan McNabb was somewhat of a running quarterback. And the only times in his tenure in Philadelphia, he 4 times in his tenure in Philadelphia, what did he play? 11 years here. Did he play a full 16 slate game? Now, a couple of seasons, I believe Andy Reid pulled him because they had their positioning locked up in terms of seeding for the playoffs. But the running quarterback has a huge advantage in terms of driving coordinators nuts trying to scheme against it. Mm-hmm. But there's a risk factor that has to be the fact that Jalen Hurts got up slow twice is concerning to me. The fact that he's run the ball over 30 times the last 2 games is concerning to me. Now, you're utilizing all of his assets, but they can be overused also. And my concern is them being overused to the point, is he going to be around to finish what he started?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
No, it's a good question, Derek. And the thing is, again, I don't want to jump too far ahead to this week because we just finished this game, whatever it was, less than 12, 14 hours ago, whatever. they're facing a real good run defense. Like Tennessee is third in the NFL. They're only allowing 84.5 points per game. It's going to be fascinating to see if the Eagles can pound them into submission like they have these other teams with the running game. Anyway, just an aside, I just throw that out there.
But before you move on, Rob, I'm looking at this comment here, and it's a good question. Okay, and maybe it's a sarcastic question. Where'd it go? This chat is moving so fast. What did it say? Does Mahomes run too much too? Come on, guys. Joe Whip. No, Mahomes doesn't run too much because Mahomes scrambles. Mahomes scrambles more, waiting for people to get open. Now, every now and then, you look at the amount of times Mahomes will run a football compared to the times Mahomes scrambles around. He's one of the best magicians in the game in terms of scrambling. And then all of a sudden, just when you think he's going to take off, boom, because he's frozen people on the back end, there's a guy standing wide open.
Yeah.
That's what makes the combination between him and Kelsey so great.
Well, look, 42 attempts for Mahomes compared
for
to
the whole season.
Compared to 127 for Hurts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a gigantic difference.
Mahomes uses his legs to buy time for receivers.
Yeah.
The running game is a significant part of Jalen Hurts' quarterbacking attributes. That's a big difference. Yeah. Huge difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
It is a huge difference, but like I said, you got to look at a guy that understands what his purpose is on this team, and that's to be the leader on this team.
I agree.
So he's not going to do something. I don't believe that they're going to use him in that capacity. I think he runs when he has to run, and they don't call a lot. I mean, maybe 5 plays they call for him that are quarterback runs, and they're usually during times when they absolutely need him to be a weapon. I don't think that he's like an Allen. You know what I'm saying? Allen runs, and he runs recklessly. That's why he's hurt right now. Hurts doesn't do it that way. Hurts realizes once he gets the first down, he'll try to get a little extra, but he's going to get out of bounds. He's going to slide before he gets hit. He's going to make sure he takes care of his body. And he had to scramble this last game because that left side was leaking. You know what I'm saying? Profusely.
Yes. Bear, I agree with you 100%, but you have these turfs that players are screaming to get rid of. The majority of these fields have these turfs that have no give. What if he's running full bore, sits down and easily twists an ankle because his cleat didn't give on one of these bad carpets? Okay.
Well, also, to me, what if he's in the pocket and Dickerson lets his guy go and he gets hit? You know what I'm saying? He could get hit and hurt then.
Yes.
All those what ifs are what ifs that can happen inside the pocket also.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, after watching him yesterday get up slower, those couple of plays. Now a guy like Rodgers refuses to wear the flak jacket. Now all of a sudden he's got cracked ribs, caught up to him. Jalen Hurts at least protects his body wearing that flak jacket, which is huge. But the fact that but since we're talking about the quarterback, I just brought up, there was 2 times in the game where he got up a little bit slower.
Yep.
And I wonder if the wind was knocked out of him, or if he got his bell rung on the one play inside the 5, and then the play when he got bent over, Rudy Ford, just as he was about to sit down, hit him simultaneously and bent him forward. When you now
kind of
what
happened with BG, huh?
Exactly. Now there you're talking about the possibility separation of rib cartilage, a damaged ribs, a vertebrae, anything. I mean, you just can't play the game scared, but I'm just saying there is a way to protect him even more. So you need him in January as much as you need him right now.
Yeah. No, look, for sure.
Well, there will be no January without him. My fault, Rob. But there will be no January without him using his intangibles to help this team get to that point. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I hear you. The other thing is, it wasn't just Jalen. Of course, that was the highlight of it, but Miles Sanders had another monster game on the ground, and he was unbelievable. I mean, I just love the fact that you have the ability to whether it's your running back, whether it's Jalen doing his thing, but big game for Miles Sanders. Now he's on pace, guys, for I think close to 1,200 yards on the season. Last night, and I love the yards per carry too. He goes 21 for 143, 6.8 yards per carry, with 2 touchdowns. I mean,
I think he ran harder last night than he has run all season.
This is like video game stuff.
I love watching him break. He was breaking tackles, legs are churning. He wouldn't go down in a lot of cases, picking up an extra 2 or 3 yards here and there. I think he ran with a significant purpose last night, like I haven't seen him run all season long. He had a phenomenal game last night. He utilized every carry, every opportunity they gave him. He used it to his maximum effort. And you say he's on pace right now for 1,200 yards. And I'll sit here and tell you right now, I don't think the Eagles are going to pay him, to be honest.
Nope. I think you're right.
I don't think they're going to pay him. I think you're going to be looking at them getting another running back, either in free agency or the draft next year. So enjoy Miles Sanders this season as much as you can.
Yeah, because you think about the decisions they have to make. You talk about like Bradbury, Kaiser White,
Gardner Johnson.
That's just to name a couple here. Like there's a few. There's a lot of guys who are up at the end of this year, and they're going to have really difficult decisions. Yeah. And you guys don't know. The one thing that's like lingering there in the background is Jalen's going to get paid. So what kind of impact does that have on the ability that you're able to have to sign these guys?
That's true. Quarterback takes a big chunk out of your overall salary cap, no question about it. And we've seen how big money quarterbacks have destroyed rosters across the National Football League. And I'm not saying that's the case now, because I think Howie Roseman is the best capologist in the game in terms of moving money. I can see him taking some of the high-priced players and restructuring deals, giving them more money up front to make room to do some things that he needs to do. But you can only do it to a certain limit. I don't care how much the cap goes up. Once you give that quarterback the big numbers, everything else is squeezed somehow, some way.
Do you think he deserves the big numbers?
Do I think, based on what he's done this year? Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely. Now, again, we have to take into consideration, like Rob said off the top of the show, the rumors out there that they're slowly negotiating a long-term deal. But if push comes to shove, as we get closer to the offseason, let's face it, boys, they don't have to pay him next year.
They don't
have to pay him. He can play that rookie contract out. His numbers will go up again. If he plays next year like he does this year, numbers are going to go up even more. But that's the roulette wheel you spin, depending on how you want to construct this team for next year to see if they can contend next year also.
They make it to the Super Bowl, you have to pay him.
Oh, no question. No question.
You have to pay him.
But what if the other side is saying, "Oh, that's not enough for us"? I mean, it's a two-way street.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Lamar Jackson's a prime example.
Yep.
There's no way, and I don't even know what the numbers are. There's no way you're telling me that Baltimore's offered him less money than what Kyler Murray's making. But is Lamar saying that's not enough? Or maybe it's not enough front money. Maybe it's too long of a contract. I want to show.
Or maybe it's all. I want it all guaranteed. Like
I want it all guaranteed.
Well, that's the thing. I will tell you this: that deal that Cleveland agreed to pissed off the entire league.
No question.
Okay, you're talking guaranteed money. The way they finagled it, where he doesn't get hit hard with a suspension this year. Like I'm telling you, that really set a lot of teams off. It did, and. You're right. I can't imagine that Lamar isn't asking for the same thing, if not more, right? And, that's all complicated because he doesn't have an agent. He reps himself or his mom helps him, whatever that is.
Right.
And then, Jalen is saying, look at what these guys are asking for. Look at what Kyler Murray got. I'm better than Kyler Murray, and he is better than Kyler Murray.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And he's a good teammate, unlake Kyler Murray.
Absolutely.
Okay? So, absolutely, he's looking for crazy money. No doubt. He should. I don't blame him.
In today's game, get what you can while you can.
Yeah.
And
you're right. It's a short amount of time that you have to maximize your money-making potential.
Absolutely. And Cleveland has restructured the entire quarterback market with what they did. And I know owners are cringing afterward. Like, what are you doing up there? We had a formula, and now you've just thrown that formula out of whack.
It's become basketball and baseball. Like that guaranteed money. The beauty of the NFL was you could get yourself out of mistakes.
Yep.
Now you can't.
Yeah.
Some
now
of
you
these deals.
can't. No.
You think about it. Tell me Phoenix or whatever, Arizona doesn't have buyer's remorse now with that deal. Tell me.
Absolutely.
Tell me Denver. Yeah. I'm not dumping on Denver because I think they thought they were going to get a rejuvenated Russell Wilson. That thing's been a total disaster. So I'm just saying, if these deals end up going sideways, and I don't think that's going to be the case with Jalen. I'm not saying that, but if they go sideways, they hamstring you, man, big time. You're screwed.
You know what? I never thought that the money we gave Carson Wentz was good money. I never thought
it
that.
was definitely undervalued compared to these other guys.
It was undervalued, and that's the only reason I said, you know what, I can be cool with it because he's not making what the upper echelon quarterbacks are making. At the time, he was thinking he was one of the upper echelon quarterbacks.
Oh yeah,
I never thought that he was a guy that that would maximize his potential. I always thought that he was always holding back.
Carson.
Yeah, Carson. I thought he was holding back. I thought he had more potential than what he was giving. And it turned out to be, that it was altogether different. It wasn't about, his potential or anything else. It's all about his locker room presence. I think that's the biggest thing of why he was sent out of here. Wasn't necessarily about what he could do and what he couldn't do. It was more so about how he was not a leader of men in which they were looking for to lead the team.
And what Jalen's the total opposite.
Then you got the whole kit and caboodle with him.
Yeah.
You got the guy that's going to be the first one in, the last one to leave. You can go to him. You can rely on him. He's somebody you can count on. Somebody the defense loves. The coaching staff loves him. People upstairs love him. I mean, it's such a different way of thinking when you think about Jalen and his potential of being the leader of this team. He is a leader. He is a bona fide star in that locker room.
Do you guys, just sort of an aside, do you get a kick out of listening to him?
Oh, yeah.
Last night, he references like bougie steakhouses, and that's what the offensive line is like, or the offense is like, because you get a lot of different choices. Like, I just listen to this guy, I'm like, he's 24 years old. Where is he getting this stuff? Like, I could barely dress myself when I was 24. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
24. I'm just putting things in position. At 24 years old, I was literally leaving the club on Thursday night going to Friday. So it's Friday morning. I'm leaving the club at 2:30 in the morning. And I'm driving to work to the stadium so I know I'll be there on time. And it got so bad that Ray Rhodes knew to knock on my window if he saw my car there, to knock on the window to make me get up and go down and steam all the liquor out of me.
Yeah.
That's where I was at 24 years old.
Yeah.
And this guy's leading the football team that's 10-1.
I know. It's crazy, man. Look, it's great, but it's amazing, man. It's amazing. All right, so there was a lot of
that Richie. Look at Richie Meg.
My wife dresses me now. Don't blame her for my mess of how I dress. That's for sure. Believe me, I get so much heat from her and my daughter. You're gonna wear that? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wear it. Yeah. Here's what I get all the time. So we do we're doing our show remotely, and I'm like, I'll get dressed from the top up. Not that I don't have anything on, but I'm saying I'll have like sweats on, and they're like, "You're gonna wear that?" I'm like, no one sees what I have on, below, right here, right? I mean, I have sweats on, sweatpants.
Nothing wrong with sweats. Yeah, nothing wrong with sweats.
Nothing's wrong with that. But you're gonna wear that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm wearing it. I'm not on TV. I'm not doing stand-ups. Anyway. All right. All right. So when we come back, let's dive into some things that concern us. Now, we talked about the special teams. We'll dig into that a little bit more. But some of the other things that we're seeing, and guys who maybe aren't necessarily showing up. Robert Quinn.
Who?
So we'll get into that. You give him a fourth rounder for Robert Quinn, and we're not seeing much right now. And maybe we're a little spoiled because Sue and Joseph came right in and made an impact. I don't know, but we'll talk about all those things. It's hard to really, get all worked up about bad things when you're 10-1. But there are some things you want to see improve because you're looking at it from a bigger picture as whether or not you can win this whole thing. So coming up at 2:00, we will get into week 12 of the NFL. We'll look at the NFC East. We'll look at two coaches, including Doug P., who went for 2 and it paid off. The Commanders are legitimately hot right now. Mike White steps in and steps up. A lot of stuff to get into with the NFL segment. So looking forward to that as well. Don't go anywhere. Barrett, Derek, Rob, we are the Three Amigos, a.k.a. Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let's talk about Flynn Tree Services, guys, because Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted tree off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. So ask yourself a question. You're out in the yard, you're looking around a little bit, looking on your front lawn, you're saying, "Ooh, man, I don't know. That tree looks a little sketchy to me. Looks like it's getting a little old. Branches look loose." If you have any of those issues, they're just a quick phone call away. They're experts at trimming all types of trees, and they serve southeastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and northern Delaware. They specialize in tree removal, stump grinding, as well as tree pruning. And keep in mind also, tied into what I just mentioned, we're in that time of year with some heavy winds, hurricane season, et cetera. It's a great time to have your trees evaluated. You go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted, revered.
Appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate. Honest.
And fair. He is extremely dedicated, motivated, and always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader, and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out with us on this Monday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you I know it's a little tougher for folks to kind of get moving after the late Eagles game, that's for sure, but it helps when they win, right? That is there is no doubt about that.
Great conversation at the water cooler, bro.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. All right, so let's hit a couple things that are of concern, and we touched on these a little bit, and we hit the special teams pretty hard, so we can always swing back to that in a minute. But you know, AJ Dillon last night, 8 rushes, 64 yards, and a touchdown, 8 yards per carry. And look, we know he's a load. He's a big guy to bring down, and he's not easy for anybody. But you can't be giving up 8 yards per chunk. You know, that is a major concern if you're the Eagles, especially considering, you know, who's on deck here, you know, with Derrick Henry, who takes it to a different level, that's for sure, and is going to come in ticked off because he's had 2 weeks where he was just, you know, Green Bay game, he was okay.
Right.
Yesterday, he did very little.
No, Cincinnati gang tackled him all day long and forced Ryan Tannehill to beat him through the air. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anybody.
Well, Robert Woods has come on, and the first round draft pick, Burks, he's starting to find his footing, but they're still developing.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I think this is going to be the most physical game they played up to this point of the season. Even when you consider the grudge match they played against Dallas, this is a whole different level of physicality because Tennessee, man, they hit. They try to bully you in the trenches on both sides of the ball. They will hit people. Their linebackers are very active. Their secondary loves to get physical with wide receivers. This is going to be a good brass knuckle type test for the Eagles. I can't wait to see this matchup.
I really like this. I want them to go through these kind of tests.
Yes, absolutely.
Before the playoffs start. This is great. All right, you got a running attack. You've been up and down with the run. You were good last week. You weren't good yesterday. You got Henry coming in here. This is a game that Tennessee's going to want badly since they came off the loss. And it's going to be an important game for Tennessee for seeding, in the AFC. I think they're in pretty good shape to lock up that garbage division that they're in. But they're right there. Like, think about it. They're 7-4. You got the Ravens at 7-4 after they choked away a game yesterday. Cincinnati's 7-4, and Cincinnati's on the rise. But you're not that far away from Miami, who's 8-3. Buffalo's 8-3. Like, I'm talking just in terms of like what seed you want to end up being. So it's a really important game for Tennessee.
The thing I like most about this game is at 1:00. Finally.
Bro, no more night games.
You're not getting an argument here, man.
1:00. Don't say that, Barrett, because there's a couple of games on that schedule that could be flexed to 4:25. So don't say it. They have 3 straight scheduled 1:00 games.
I got news for you, D-Gun. Enjoy this one because very likely
don't say
the following week against the Giants.
Don't say it. Don't do it.
It will be like me flexing. It's going to be
Don't do it, Rob. Don't do it.
Sorry.
I think that's the only one that can flex, though.
I think the other one, Barrett, the last game of the year is a TBD right now. They don't even have a time in for that. They never did. So that could move around a little bit.
Stop being right all the damn time. Rob.
I hope no, God, please let me be wrong. Please.
Hey, I hope that game's at 10:30 in the morning.
Right.
I say we just savor the moment of this week that we actually have a 1:00. So, but no, I think it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be entertaining. Like Tannehill's played. I haven't dug hard into yesterday's game, but he's been better lately. I don't know how he looked yesterday, frankly. But it's going to be an interesting game. But they have to do better against the run. That's for sure. And the special teams just can't put them in this hole. We know they're not going to be good. I think we've all just sort of, resigned ourselves to it. They're not good on special teams. But it can't be this bad. Like, you can't be giving up. What was the average for Nixon?
34,
I said earlier
34.
I mean, come on, man.
100 was it 157 yards on 5 returns or 4 returns?
5 returns, 172. It's 34.4. 34.4.
In a game where it's automatic, when the ball gets to the end zone, all you do is see the guy deep hold his arms up like this for touchback. This dude steps back in the end zone 5 and 7 yards and brings it out because they identified something on their special teams that they felt they could hit, and wow, did they hit it. Now, luckily, 2 of them he could have broken. If he had one more block, he'd have broken 2. Now, there's one guy who might give him fits that I see left on their schedule, that dude named Turpin, who plays for Dallas.
Yep.
But outside of that, I don't think the Giants have a dangerous return guy. I don't think Tennessee does.
Nixon wasn't a dangerous return guy until he played us.
You become one real fast.
Right.
Well, he was the option than Amari Rodgers, who's now down in Houston, but he wasn't, you're right. He wasn't what he was yesterday. My goodness.
Yeah.
Hassan Haskins is the returner. He's a rookie. He's not going to know any better. He's probably going to try to come to bring out everything.
If I'm opposing teams and their special teams coach, I'm telling them, hey, take some risks. We normally are going to take a knee or just let this one go. Yeah, you 2-3 yards in. Let's open this thing up. They're proven otherwise.
If I'm Michael Clay, to save myself, Jake, I want you to kick it 10 rows into the stands in the end zone.
Putting that kind of pressure on it. It's got to be out of the end zone completely now.
I want you. I don't care, Jake. I know you could tear a hamstring. I want you to kick like you've never kicked before. I want you to kick like your life depended on it. Matter of fact, I want you to kick it up to the second level concession stand if you have.
Right,
to.
Right.
Speaking of that, and we'll get into this in a minute. I'm violating my own rule here, but Did you see the Justin Tucker? He was about a yard short of a 67-yarder yesterday.
Oh, I missed that one. No.
So Baltimore, after collapsing against Jacksonville scores late. They go for 2. They take the lead. Doug P, coming with a wheelbarrow for his stones, if you know what I'm saying. And they end up scoring. Baltimore gets just enough to get in position for a 67-yarder. And I'm telling you, Tucker came up about a yard or 2 short. Like it was right on.
It hit the crossbar.
That dude is ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah,
he hit 66 last year.
Yeah,
and this would have been the biggest one at 67.
And it's on. It wasn't in a dome, like anything like that. This guy is anyway.
Well, he has some record for the most consecutive fourth quarter field goals in the history of pro football.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the one yesterday broke the record, but I forgot the record was ridiculous in terms of him talking about being automatic.
Yeah,
in the fourth quarter. Jeez,
he's amazing.
How much of a luxury is that?
It is. It's amazing. All right, so the concern is like some of the things we touched on earlier. AJ Brown's been turning the ball over lately. I almost have to say I got to give the guy a bit of a pass last night. He was really not himself, but he still had 8 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown. But he's got to clean that up.
Did he step out on the field?
I'm with you, Derek. And the week before, when he had the fumble and the Washington game where he bats the ball up, he wasn't sick, so he's got to be better. I agree.
Barrett, you agree or disagree? If you're well enough to step on the field, you're well enough to play to your potential.
Absolutely. You on the field, you got to come out there, and perform.
Whenever
you step in between those lines, you got to go.
Was that 3 games now? He's been stripped. Was that the third game or the second game?
It was the second fumble, but he did have the interception that was in his hands, and he bounced it up.
Okay.
Versus Washington. So
all right. Well, so look, that's got to obviously that's an issue. Let's talk about what they're getting or not getting from Robert Quinn. I don't know if he's still getting acclimated to the system, if it's just a rotation.
That's not a system thing. You just get out there, you point you in the right direction, you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
He played 11 snaps. They were the 11 most insignificant snaps.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. Yeah, is he the Ryan Kerrigan of this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
is there some of that happening?
Yes.
Is it feeling like that a little?
Rob, man, that's a good one.
Well, the good news is Kerrigan had a great playoff game. He was about the only Eagle defender that showed up. So if that's the way we're going, okay. I mean, I'll take it. But
he had 2 sacks.
Yeah, he was suddenly he was the guy we saw in Washington when he was like 24 years old. He was incredible. But yeah, Quinn hasn't been good thus far. And because they need, I think they have 3 sacks last night. It's not like they're not getting pass rush, but you need it from everybody, man.
Wow. You brought him in, like you said, Rob, you gave up a 4th-round pick for this guy because you thought he had something left in the tank. And like I said, the day they signed him, the people I talked to in Chicago said they didn't feel bad about letting him go when they did, because they felt that he was not living up to his expectations. And, how did they term it? Don't judge everything you see by the 18 sacks he had in 2021. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And they said, you'll see. And I'm like,
I love you'll see. You're like, okay, great.
Like, wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, here we are sitting here talking about Robert Quinn. We were all excited when they signed him, and now we're sitting here talking about where's he been the last few games.
But I do wonder, like, if you look at it in a vacuum, like if you look, let's say out of the 3 guys that they made a move on, Quinn, I know that was a trade, but the Quinn, Sue, and Joseph. Like if 2 out of 3 play well,
right?
You know what I mean? I know it's not like tit for tat where you gave up a 4th rounder. That's a big deal. You didn't have to give anything up for Joseph and Sue, but still, I mean, if 2 out of 3 of those guys play, I'm okay. I could kind of live with that if you're getting that kind of production. Granted they're different positions and all that, but the other thing is, and we haven't heard anything yet. CJ Gardner-Johnson injury. They're still without Maddox. They're still without Goddard, and you're really feeling it for the other two, and you're going to feel it if Gardner Johnson isn't able to play.
Right.
They haven't been able to overcome Goddard, and they haven't been able to overcome Avante. So you only have so much depth, and in those positions they lack, in a big way.
They look at the personnel packages they came out with yesterday in the first drive. I mean, they had 10 personnel, 11 personnel. There was no 12 personnel. In fact, they brought in on when they needed like 3rd and 1 or something like that. They brought in the backup set of Juergens to play tight end instead of bringing in tight ends.
Right.
On those passing downs, it was 11 personnel, but it was actually I thought it was 10 personnel because Tyree Jackson hasn't played tight end. He's more of a wide receiver when he's out there. So I mean, they opened up the field a lot more since Goddard wasn't there, and took the ball down the field. So I mean, I like what they're doing conceptually.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I like that they're spreading things out. There's just nothing in the middle of the field, though.
But Barrett, all of the tight ends except Calcaterra has been with this team for at least 2 years.
Right.
And you mean to tell me that if in 2 seasons you haven't been identified a way to free up? They can't be just one-dimensional tight ends. Now, we know Calcaterra is a receiver and not a blocker. The only pass you threw to him went for -2 yards. You couldn't have worked him more in the middle of a field against a very porous Green Bay defense? You couldn't wiggle him free? You couldn't wiggle him free? Green Bay had gaping holes all over the place. You couldn't wiggle him free for at least a 5-7 yard out, something?
Well, they had nothing in the middle of the field. That's why everything was thrown on the outside, bro. So I don't know.
You can't get him to the outside. He doesn't have quick enough to plant his foot on a 5 yard out, 7 yard out, anything? That's 2 games in a row.
Yeah, like
the tight end, nothing.
I can't imagine. Like I honestly thought you would get like 3 catches for 25 yards out of Stoll.
Right.
Which I don't think he's asking a ton.
No.
I don't know about Tyree Jackson. He's coming off real injury, really major injury. So I don't know about that. And I thought Calcaterra would be good for like 1 catch for 25 yards per game, or because he is a good, legitimate receiver. They just, I don't know. And granted, when you run it as much as the Eagles ran it, there aren't a ton of opportunities for those guys too.
Right.
In fairness.
No. Yeah, even though they ran 49 plays, they threw the ball 20-something times. Yep. I just can't get over the fact that 2 games in a row, the tight end position has been looked at 2 times in 120 minutes of football. When you look at, I just don't get that. I don't get it. If they were guys they brought in off the street, that's one thing. But they've been here for a couple of years, except Calcaterra.
Right. I know. Well, I mean, look, the other thing you have to look at, I was going to say Devontae only had 4 catches, but he was targeted 9 times. When you're attempting, they attempted 28. You had 9 targets to Devontae. You had 6 to AJ. You had 5 to Quez. You had 3 to Sanders. Gainwell had 1, and that the only other one was Calcaterra. He lost 2. I mean, look, it's not good. I don't know. I'm trying to put some kind of spin on this, and maybe I just need to stop. There really isn't a great spin.
Well, I don't want to say anything, but now that you mentioned it.
They just don't have a tight end right now.
Maybe the positive is hopefully Goddard will be back quicker than
2 weeks.
He's got 2 more games at least.
I know.
He has to sit out.
I hear you. So there are things you worry about. And we haven't heard anything of Gardner Johnson, which that would be enormous if this is something serious.
Well, you look at I think Jordan Davis can come back this week, right?
Is it this week or next week?
I thought it was this week.
I forget, right. I'm sorry, I'm blanking. Somebody reported that he was doing some like agility drills in the tunnel in sneaks last night. Like it feels like he's getting close.
He ran to the locker room when after the game.
Yeah.
He ran to the locker. He looked pretty swift of foot.
Good. Look, think about that depth you're going to have in the interior. When Jordan Davis comes back, you got Sue and you got Joseph and you got Cox and you got Hargrave and Milton Williams. I mean, you're going to have some hard decisions to make because someone's not going to be dressing, I don't think.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's eligible to come off the IR this week.
Okay. Yeah, and I will say this. I thought I had a little debate with John Ritchie about this last night, but I thought Fletcher Cox played better last night.
Yeah, he did. He played with a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About
More
time.
active. Yeah.
Isn't it about time he showed up?
No, it is. Yeah, it is.
Come on, Barrett. You know what I'm talking about,
bruh. It's still not the same Fletcher Cox that I've seen, the previous years.
Is that guy ever coming back though? Honestly,
no.
I'm not even trying to be a smart ass here.
But right, but you're right, man. We're talking about a guy that he was in the MVP category as far as MVP, defensive MVP, and the last 2.5 years, we haven't seen that caliber of player.
Yeah, and it's pretty obvious. He's not.
But he did play well. He did play well, though.
Yeah, I mean, he made a really good. He had a sack. He made a really good play, stuffing the run on a tackle for a loss where he just buried. I can't remember if it was. I think it was Jones, but and there was another play he didn't get credit for the tackle, but he absolutely blew the play up. There's 3 that really stood out to me. For sure. I know we want more than that, but I'm just telling you, it was a game. All right.
Out of 31 snaps, we're applauding him for having 3 good snaps.
I guess I look at it more in totality.
I agree. I just threw it out there, because I'm like, wait a minute. You're right. He had the sack. He had the stuff run. He made another play. I'm like, how many snaps did he play? 31?
Yeah. Yep.
He had 3 great snaps. 3 snaps that stood out of 31.
Oh man! All right, let's do a little NFL Week 12 when we come back. A lot of storylines, a lot of things developing, and I'll tell you what. Each and every week that goes by, it just reinforces the NFC East is nasty. The NFC East is nasty,
and so is the AFC East for that matter.
Both Easts are really good, really good. All right. We'll dig into that when we get back.
There's one human interest story, which I think is a great human interest story. I don't know if you have it on your list of topics for the NFL block, but I'll save it for after the break.
All right, we'll lead with that. We like the good stuff. All right.
Okay.
All right,
you might have it on your list. I don't know. So
I don't know if I do. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll do that when we come back. Derek, Barrett, Rob, we are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let's talk about Razor technology. And IT infrastructure environments are more complex and heterogeneous than ever before. Consequently, teams struggle to respond to pressing issues with the speed necessary to promote positive business results, and the data that powers predictive monitoring and automation is left unexploited. Razor technology addresses this challenge with a holistic approach that connects every part of an organization's technology assets, enabling proactive and secure IT operations without sacrificing the agility that drives innovation. Razor technology automates monitoring and management to bolster IT teams that are feeling stretched thin, and it improves auditing and reporting procedures so that actionable insights find their way to the leaders that need them most. Save time and money on your IT and cloud services and secure your organization with leading end-to-end infrastructure solutions by calling Razor Technology today at 866-797-3282, 866-797-3282, or visit them online at razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted,
revered,
appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate, honest,
and fair.
He is extremely dedicated,
motivated, and always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader, and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
What's up, everybody? Hour number 3 of the program. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Tell a friend. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. All right, Gunner, let's start with your feel-good story here from week 12.
Yeah, the New England Patriots sent their team private plane down to the University of Virginia to get players to 3 different funerals for players who were slain in that tragedy a few weeks ago. And I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. That the Patriots would volunteer to do something like that. They were wondering how they were going to get these kids where they needed to go in a hurry to those who wanted to pay respect for all 3 funerals. And you send you have no unless somebody high up in the Patriots organization has ties to the University of Virginia. I think that's commendable that they did that.
Well, beyond classy, beyond thoughtful.
Stand up. That's really stand up.
Yeah, no, that is, you're right, Derek. That's above and beyond, man. And kudos to Robert Kraft and the entire organization for thinking of others like that. Cause that's, it's an awful situation down there, man. And yeah, I know the football team canceled the games for the rest of they had 1 or 2 games. They never made them up. And I think that was the right way to go. And
I agree.
To honor those young men who lost their lives. So yeah, good. That's great, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm glad you pointed that out. We need more of that, man. We don't talk enough about that stuff. That's
we
sure.
don't.
Yeah, very cool. Let's stay on the feel good thing. Like I could care less about the Jets, but Mike White went out yesterday and tore it up. He got an opportunity because Zach Wilson wasn't getting the job done with the Jets. Mike White hits 10 different receivers, guys, goes for over 300 yards in the rain. They pulled out all the stops. Clearly they were using a limited playbook with Wilson, and Mike White went off, man. And it looked like the teammates really responded to him. So pretty cool.
So the question that I asked you guys during the meeting, I'll ask it again. Who's starting for the Jets this week?
They got to stop. They got to start them now.
Yeah, I think it's Mike White all day.
So then what are you telling your incumbent that because he made a young man mistake that he's going to be penalized the rest of the season? Or do you start him again if he falters? You give him a quick hook and put White back in there, because I think that sends a bad message, to the rest of the players. What you mean we can't make a mistake? If we make a mistake, we lose our jobs.
It's not about that, and it's not like he got Wally pipped. What it is they put somebody else in there, and then somebody else played better.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all it is. I mean,
I agree.
He had the offense going. Now, okay, you know what I'm saying? You're the first round pick. The team was handed to you. You didn't have great production, so we had to go in a different direction.
You didn't have great production, but you had a winning record with an inconsistent quarterback.
In spite of
the quarterback, yes, the defense carried that team. Yes, no, and until he got hurt, Brees Hall was a significant part of that offense, but the running game has kept going in the absence of Hall as well. So in spite of the quarterback, the team continued to function and keep themselves in the playoff picture. But again, I asked the question, how it's perceived on the outside is the decision is being made based solely on play, when your quarterback, who would have been starting had he not opened his mouth and said the wrong thing, would have been your starter this past Sunday.
Well, I think, Derek, it's deeper, though. Like, the Wally Pipp, yeah, it sucks if a guy loses his job to an injury. That sucks. That wasn't the case with Wilson. Like everything we're hearing is he didn't prep well during the week. He wasn't putting the work in. It wasn't just that he didn't have, he had a game or two where he was off. Like, and I think it culminated in those comments where he felt like he didn't let the defense down. But it feels like there's a lot more going on. Like these guys were really kind of getting sick of his act. And I think maybe if it's almost like if you're giving a punishment out to a kid or something, you give him a day or do you give him a week? They might think a little harder about it for a week. So if he gets a couple games, maybe it hits harder with him.
It's possibility.
This is not we're not kids. Those aren't kids playing. Those are grown men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to take your mind off the MILFs and go out there and play.
Oh, geez. Here we go. Yes, but he would have, if he had not opened his mouth, he would have been starting on Sunday.
Well, you know what?
He got benched because of what he said.
No, he got benched because his production.
Can you see Joe Douglas sitting him down in the office and be like, listen, you got to take your mind off the MILFs first.
Right.
Oh, geez. Here we go.
Seriously, man. No, there have been plenty of people said plenty of dumb stuff and didn't get benched. He got benched because of production. His lack of production got him benched. So now what was it like? He had 6 throwing plays.
His numbers were horrendous.
Yes.
Yeah.
He got benched because of his production, not necessarily from what he said. What he said just added on to it, and they pulled the trigger. I doubt seriously if he would have started this week, he'd have probably been benched next week. His production is what made him a candidate to be sat on the bench. It had nothing to do with what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, defensive players don't even care about what he said. They need to handle their business. They got too much other stuff to be thinking about whether this quarterback thinks that did he help us. I mean, how many times has the defense said, help or anything else? Defense got their own rules to worry about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But Derek, I mean, you raise an interesting point. It is going to be interesting to see where this heads as we go forward here. I'm going to pull up their schedule now and just see, because they're very much in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, they are.
Sure. They have, all right, whoa. They're at Minnesota this week.
Oh, geez.
Then they're at Buffalo. Then it lightens up a little. Detroit home, Jacksonville home.
That doesn't sound like lighting it up.
No, really.
Actually,
well.
You're right. You're right. And then they're at Seattle, at Miami. Actually, the Jets have a brutal schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eesh. Well, whoever is quarterbacking, good luck. Yeah. Wow.
Robert Saleh's still holding those slips of paper.
He still is. That's for
yeah.
Sure. Well, the AFC. All right, so we'll get into the NFC East in a second, but the AFC East right now. So you have the Dolphins 8-3, Buffalo 8-3, Jets 7-4, New England at 6-5. That's a strong division.
That's strong. That is strong.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of the NFC East right now.
Yeah.
Who the heck would have thought Washington would have been 2 games over 500 at this point?
I wouldn't. Let's go there because they win again yesterday over the Falcons. They won 6 of their last 7. Heineke as the starter is 5-1.
Yep.
5-1, man. And I know it's not just him, but they clearly have a different sort of bounce, attitude, feel that they can win games with this guy than they did with Carson Wentz. It's not a coincidence, man. This stuff keeps happening to Carson Wentz. It's not
because he's just not a good player. He doesn't care about the game.
Yeah. He
doesn't care about the game. So the love is not there. Like, he should be pissed off that people are talking about him like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't see he's even pissed off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he is at this point.
Is he still getting paid?
Right. That's
sure
it.
Is. Yeah.
I'm sitting here making my lowly wages, talking about him on the show, and he's out there picking his check up every Monday. Like today, he went and picked his check up, and what his check looked like is it'll take me 20 years to make right now.
What
pisses me off, man?
What?
Yeah. I hear you, man.
What?
Yeah, I get it. I'm not arguing. Yeah. So
15.
They keep winning, and they look like a team that you could write off at least in the division. And there's no one you can write off now.
Nobody.
No.
Nobody.
There's a possibility all 4 teams could make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean,
there
think
is.
about that. Think about that. There's a slim chance that could happen.
Yeah, if you look at it right now, the Eagles would have the bye and be the 1 seed, home field throughout. Then it's Minnesota, San Fran. The stinking Bucks are 5-6, but they're going to win that garbage division.
Oh, that stinks. That stinks.
And then it's the Cowboys and the Giants and the Commanders. Right there, they're 8-3,
Wow.
7-4, 7-5. Yeah, that's right now. The Commanders are the 7 seed.
What?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Seattle's only 6-5, so they're the 8.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The Commanders have went on with like our loss to Tyler Heineke and them. It doesn't look as bad now.
Right.
Considering the fact of how they played thus far, the defense woke up. Offensively, they know how to now keep the ball out of the opponent's hands.
Yep.
They just run the ball, and Tyler just doesn't make a lot of mistakes, in running what he's running.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it give props to Rivera, and he's dealing with. We always know there's a lot of stuff going on with that organization. So to be able to keep that thing afloat and get them headed in the right direction, Ron Rivera's done a really nice job down there.
Very nice job. Very
in
nice
DC
job.
for sure. Props to him.
Considering how that thing could have blown up with all the off the field antics going on.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
He's done a great job rallying the troops. No question about it.
I don't know if you guys caught any of the Bucks Browns game yesterday, but Tampa ends up blowing a lead. They lose in overtime to Cleveland. I keep wanting to sort of back them and do the whole Brady's never dead and all that.
I kept telling you.
No, Barry, that's where I was going to go. I was going to give you props because you keep saying stop with this. I mean, they are going to get in because they're going to win that division.
Yep.
But they're not good. They're not
and
good.
they lose another Pro Bowl offensive lineman.
Yeah, he's out at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
An ankle, Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah. Man, you talk about a team decimated. Oh my goodness. How many injuries can you sustain and still be a viable entity?
And that was my thing. That was my shtick, though. I really didn't believe that they were going to be healthy enough. Like, he has musical chairs at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
The only constant they have is Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like musical chairs. Every once in a while he has Jones in there. It's tough to really get some cohesiveness and camaraderie, even with having the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, to be able to consistently, be able to throw to different guys, and then no running game. They're just now starting a running game, which makes them okay. But that's that whole organization, man, right now they're scrambling, man, trying to keep things together, scrambling. They just happen to be in a piss poor division. They are the Philadelphia Eagles of this year from last year.
Yeah,
they're going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to win this weak division. They're going to win the weak division and be in the playoffs. That's what they're going to do.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I was looking at the matchups here. Joe Capadia put this out a little bit earlier. Let me see if I can find it here. All right, so he likes to give you what the matchups would be right now. All right, so this is what it would be if the playoffs ended in the NFC. Eagles get the bye, as we mentioned. Commanders and the Vikings in the first round. That's a nice first round right there. That's a 7-2 right there. Giants and the 49ers would be the 6-3. That game would be in San Fran. Cowboys and the Bucks. That game would have to be played in Tampa because Tampa wins the division. Cowboys would be on the road in the first round.
Wow.
If things end it right now.
Mm.
So, yeah, pretty wild.
Wow.
Seattle and the Giants. Seattle definitely still there. I think you had a bunch of teams just seal their fate. Packers, bye-bye. Cardinals, bye-bye. Bears, bye-bye. And I know the Rams, they're all cooked. All those teams are cooked.
Boy, that's an interesting playoff scenario.
Yeah.
When you look at the NFC. Wow.
Yeah, it would be. I don't know if you saw this, but it's getting uglier and uglier with the Broncos. They lost again yesterday, and one of the linemen got in Russell Wilson's grill. And it was yelling at him. Yeah.
Well, he said basically that it was based on frustration. He had just taken, the D lineman had just taken a penalty on a field goal. And he said, according to him, quote, the defense wasn't doing anything. I was frustrated and I was trying to get Russell and the offense fired up. And then Russell concurred after. He said, I'm on the same page as him. He said, let's bleep and go. And I was telling him, I'm with you on that. Obviously, it didn't work out, but there's a whole lot of frustration that's been boiling. It has reached a boiling point in Denver for quite some time. But, even if that's the case, have you ever seen anybody walk up to Tom Brady and yell in his face? Aaron Rodgers?
No.
But I think it's like, man, we paying you all this money and this is what you're producing for us.
Yeah.
That's a bad look.
And look, we've said it all year. They moved off of the number 1 spot, but they're still the 3rd best defense in terms of points given up. Denver. So when you look at that, and then you go to the flip side of that with their offense, with what they're doing or not doing, they're the worst offense. So they're scoring Denver 14 points per game.
Oh. With that offensive firepower, wow.
Yeah, it's hard to do, right? And the defense is only giving up 17.6. So those guys on the defensive side are like, we got to go through this every week with you guys. Is there ever a time you're going to start pulling your own weight? And it just never seems to happen.
Rob, the threshold, like I said, the watermark of all defenses is to stop. If you can hold a team to score under 17 points, you usually win games.
Yeah.
But not in Denver.
No. And the thing is, Duck is right. Duck is right on. They're not adjusting the offense to what he does well. Nathaniel Hackett is so overmatched. He really is. And I know they're banged up too now.
Jerry Judy's out. KJ Hamler's out.
Yeah.
That's a big loss.
But that hasn't been the case all year, right? And it is now for sure. So that it's a little bit understandable, but they have not adjusted to what he is, to what he does best.
No,
for sure.
No. There's too much money invested, too much talent. There's way too much talent on both sides of the football, even though they've lost some key players, but still, there's way too much talent for them to be sitting here as a 3-win team. There's no excuse for that. And the way they're playing, 14 points a game, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's unacceptable. We brought in supposedly one of the best quarterbacks in the game today to get us over the hump. And we're playing worse now than we played last year without him.
Yeah.
You're right. Hackett may be one and done.
I think he is.
He should be one and done.
If I were looking at, I think he's definitely done. There's no question Kingsbury's out of there. I mean, those two are openly feuding with one another, So I'd say he's gone. I think Tomlin's back. I think Stefanski's back in Cleveland.
Yeah.
We'll get to Cleveland in 1 second. Lovey, they're not bouncing Lovey. This is not his fault.
Although they did bounce a coach in Houston.
Culley. Yeah, Culley.
David Culley after 1 year. Yeah.
The other one that I think survives, I actually believe Mark Davis. I do think he brings back Josh McDaniels. Whether he's worthy or not, I think he brings him back. I don't think he wants to make that move that quick. So I think he survives.
A 2-game winning streak.
Yeah, 2-game winning streak. Woo!
It's true. I'm just trying to look at any teams in the NFC. We know Carolina's going to have a change, although Wilk's done a nice job there in taking that thing over. That's probably it, right?
Right.
I think Dennis Allen survives in New Orleans, right? His first year.
Yeah.
That's probably it. All right, so Cleveland, as I mentioned, beats the Buccaneers. Brissett plays pretty well, but after the game, he was talking like he's already been told he's going to be the backup again. So
what did he say? He is to steal a line from Tom Brady. What he did Sunday, that was bleeping awesome. He used the word. He used the F word. That was bleeping awesome.
Yeah. And he was basically, hey, look, hey, if this is the way I go out as a starter, it was fun. I don't know. He was saying things sort of along those lines. So it seems like it's going to be Watson who's eligible to play this week. He's practicing.
We all know that.
There's way too much money tied up for that to go any other way. And they've also released what's his name? Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah. Tennessee quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah. Wasn't he Pittsburgh for a long time?
He was in Pittsburgh for a long time. Yeah. Yep. So that's headed. We know what direction that's headed. That's where that's going.
So they play the Texans, right? Yep.
Yeah, but it's in. How about that?
First start.
For his first start. Yeah,
it'll be his first start. Yep.
I want to swing it back to the Eagles game and Aaron Rodgers with you guys. He's got an oblique issue. He's playing with a broken thumb, which probably will need surgery at the end of the year. They're done. I think we can all agree at 4-8. Should they shut him down? Will we see him again this season in your guys' estimation?
It already happened. That was his way of shutting his own self down, going out his way. Oh, I got an oblique injury. Oblique. I don't even know what oblique is. I don't even have obliques here. Underneath all this, there might be some down
There's
there.
no obliques?
Yeah. There's no obliques there. And like Rodgers lifts weights. He ain't got them. And you can kind of see him setting it up. The last sack going into halftime, he kind of set it up. You know what I'm saying? It's the nature of the beast. He went out the way he needed to go out and bowed gracefully to Love. Love comes in and has a pretty good game too. So it's just that's just the way things go. That's the nature of how this NFL is. Just like he was brought in the same way. Love's gonna come in the same way also.
All right, let's take it a step further. There are a lot of people that think he's going to just walk away. I think it's a lot of money to walk away from. Do we think Aaron Rodgers plays again in the NFL?
That's $50 million. That's $100 million that he'll be walking away from.
Million. Yeah,
yep, 100.
Ooh, man,
there's no way he's walking away from $100 million.
If Green Bay can find the right trade partner, if they decide they don't want to keep him anymore, and if they send him to a team that has potential, I can see him definitely playing again. You try to send him to like Houston, I can see him bucking the system. And he walks away and Green Bay gets nothing. But if they put him in a situation where he could win, let's say a middle of the road team like New England, I don't think it'll happen, but the Jets. So one of those teams that are like a quarterback away from getting over the hump, I can see him still playing. The thing that concerned me the most about him yesterday after that game was when somebody asked him, do you still want to play? And he said, as long as we're in contention. What does that mean?
Yeah,
you're the face of this franchise. You make more money than most players in the entire league. I don't care if you're 0 for 16. Yes, I want to play. I'm gonna get my butt out there with my teammates. What do you mean you want to play as long as we're in contention? Are you gonna shut yourself down once you're officially eliminated? Is that what you're saying?
Barrett's right. An oblique is an interesting one because it's not like I have a fractured ankle. You can't really tell it's like a back injury. You kind of don't know. If he wanted to go out that way, he could go out that way. And you can't really – and he could also say, hey, the thumb's killing me. I've gutted it out this far. I can't do any more with this.
I wish I could say I want to work with you guys as long as the numbers are okay. If they're not, I'm out. I wish I could do that. I wish I could.
D-Gun can do it. D-Gun, D-Gun say these ratings ain't good enough for D-Gun to be on the show.
Thank God the numbers are pretty good. So let's hope that keeps up.
So D-Gun's got to go.
Hey, don't think I don't think about it, but
all right, let's go to the gutsy calls here. So Doug Peterson, first of all, the Jags make a great comeback, and Trevor Lawrence leads them down the field. They score. They're down 1. And Doug goes for 2, and they execute. They get it, and they end up beating the Ravens in that game where Tucker missed that 67-yarder. But just unbelievable. Doug P., man, he's still got the stones, Dougie.
Hey, look, Doug is building for the future. He understands this team is not a playoff caliber team yet.
Yeah.
So he's building. This is camaraderie and morale booster for the future. It's the same thing. Who did it earlier in the year when they went for 2? When Dable did. This is a character building season for Doug Peterson. This offseason, they'll address a lot of the issues they need down there because they got a lot of money to play with. But yeah, you know what, Dougie P said, what the heck? I ain't got nothing to lose. Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Forget about a tie. Let's go for it.
I've been doing it.
Yeah.
Been doing it.
Why am I worried about that now? Yeah.
Been doing it.
Yeah, I love it. Number one. Now the other one is Brandon Staley with the Chargers. He is a big believer in metrics, man. He is an analytics guy for sure. And he knew. The other thing is, I think he really knew his team really needed to win the game. If you're the Chargers, it's been that kind of year. You've survived a lot of injuries and whatever. But they were 5-5, and they came back in that game and they scored late. And they went against the Cardinals, and they went for it, and they got it. And all of a sudden, they have life now. There's playoff life for the LA Chargers.
They're
looks good when it works.
Yeah, they're 6-5, tied with the Patriots at 6-5. Patriots have the tiebreaker on them. They're both only a 1 game behind the Jets and Cincinnati.
It's tight.
Yep.
So, and 2 division leaders, Tennessee and Baltimore, are only 1 game ahead of them record-wise. And as we've seen in this wacky world we love, the NFL, the last month of football has caused a lot of changes in terms of jockeying for position.
Yep.
So they're still right there. That was a big momentum swing for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, meanwhile, San Francisco's won 4 in a row. And they're lurking, right? They're lurking. And the debate for a lot of people comes down to, but can you really trust Jimmy G in a big spot, in an NFC championship game, in a Super Bowl? And that's really what it gets come down to. Is there enough around him? We know the defense is nasty. Is there enough around him offensively that can, I guess, put him in the best position to succeed without him having to carry you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way more.
Here's the thing. They're one of the few teams in the league where their 4-man rush can get after you every down. Mm-hmm. They don't need to blitz a lot. That 4-man rush is nasty on that team.
Really good.
So
you guys think they're better than the Eagles, right?
I didn't say that. I never
No,
said
I
that.
don't think so.
Okay,
I don't.
All right.
I said they're a team you better be paying attention to.
I think the Cowboys and the 49ers are neck and neck for the teams that I'm most concerned about.
There you go. I agree.
I hear everybody gushing over this 49er team, man. They are good. We're not going to take anything from that. Can they compete with the Eagles? Yes, I do think they can compete.
Have you watched their defense?
Yeah, I've watched it. I mean, their linebackers are all world.
Yep.
But I really think that our offensive line could move around their defensive line because they're smaller pass rushing type of guys. Mm-hmm. You don't get into their game. You run the ball. You don't get into their game. Just like with Dallas. Everybody's Google and Gaga all over Dallas's defense. Their front 4, they could rush the passer. When they played them the first time, they could rush the passer then. The difference between playing a team like this 49er team playing this Dallas team is up front. The Eagles can establish the run. They can run the ball on them. What they do, what teams have to do when they play the Eagles is play them head up and straight up. They can't do all that, like against other teams. They can do all that slanting and all that penetration and games and stuff like that. The difference between doing that against a regular team and doing it against the Eagles offensive line is that if you slant, I put it like this, here, you got 2 guys slanting like this. As these guys slant like this, if you have your offensive line cut this guy off right here, this guy right here, you cut him off from getting to this gap and beating across the face. Is he stopping here? That means this guy keeps going out. What does that create? Look how big that hole becomes. And you're asking a linebacker one-on-one against a running back. When these guys slant, look, they slant like this. If you don't let this guy get across his face as he's going, that means that hole gets ginormous. Look, you stop him, bam, you stop him, this guy keeps going. Look how big that hole is. Now you can bump your head on the goalpost because you can get through those holes. That's the difference between knowing if you can slant or not slant, run games or not run games. If the offensive line can stop that and they can get up on their team, they can stop them from doing all that, which will hold them ineffective, and they can't pass rush when you're running the ball. That's the most demoralizing thing you can do to a defense, is to run the ball on them, and you can do nothing about it. They just got to take it.
I agree with you, Barrett, but you just said the one thing I agree with. 49ers linebackers are all world. They're the product of D'Amico Ryans, number one. Number two, their front 4 is a style. There's a reason why they're the number 1 defense in the league. There's a reason why they're only giving up 79 yards a game. Now, if Washington handled the Eagles' running attack 2 times this season, and they're not nearly as good as the 49ers, now I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying San Francisco's defense is that much better than Washington's. Washington stonewalled their running game twice. I can't think of another team that has stonewalled the Eagles' running attack like Washington has.
Well, Washington has great guys in Allen and Payne up front.
Okay, they got Bosa. They got Bosa over there.
He's on the outside.
Okay, but then they got these hogs in the middle.
They don't have hogs in the middle. They're small.
Wait.
They're pass block. They're pass rushing guys. All right.
Then how are they giving up 79 yards a game rushing?
Because they They're not.
The
I'm
linebackers
talking
fill
about
the
the
gap.
Eagles' running game. The Eagles' running game is different from everybody else's.
I agree with you. I'm just saying.
So why do they have? Why do they have
49ers linebackers fill the gap? Who's?
What's the 49ers record?
It's 7-4, something like that.
Because
the offense was beat up.
Can Christian McCaffrey play defense?
No, but I'm saying the offense was beat up. Okay, Debo missed games. Brandon Ayuk was out. George Kittle missed how many games? They haven't had a healthy defense. Haven't had a healthy offense since when?
Well, stop.
I'm just asking you.
Well, Kevin Gibbons and Alec Armstead cannot stop this Eagles offensive line.
Well,
Bosa,
hopefully we find out.
He can rush the passer.
Their strength is well, Bosa's nasty, but their strength, their linebackers, Fred Warner, Greenlaw.
They fill the gaps on runs. They come up and fill. Most teams don't have linebackers like the 49ers.
What do we talk about all game against this Green Bay team? How athletic this offensive line is.
Yes.
How they can pull, how they can get up on linebackers. You gonna tell me you don't think that Kelsey could block Greenlaw and Warren?
I'm not saying they can't. I just want to see the game. To prove our points. I want to see the game.
I'm not gushing on those guys. No, I've been saying this from the beginning. I keep telling. What's their record?
7-4.
They've been getting their ass kicked.
They were beat up.
Offense. Oh my God, we are beat up too.
Wait. We just started.
We're beat up.
Hold up. We just started getting beat up. They've been beat up all season long.
We've been beat up half the season also.
Who?
Our big fella in the middle is out.
Okay.
Avonte Maddox is out.
Time out. You got other big fellas, and you've brought in reinforcements. Okay.
We had to bring in reinforcements because the guys were falling off and not playing.
Your secondary wasn't beat up. Now, you got a major loss in your secondary. That just happened last night.
And I keep telling Avonte Maddox has been a major obstacle in our defense.
Yeah, I agree.
With him being out.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's no question.
All right, so if we're ranking our contenders or teams that you are looking at or fearful, however you want to put it, I would go Dallas. I would go San Fran.
San Fran number 2.
Okay. I guess the Vikings would be next.
Absolutely.
I don't even worry about the Vikings. I don't worry about the Vikings.
I would, because they could score at any time. You do
Long
not want to get in a pissing match with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. Let's put it like this. If the Vikings come here, game over. If you go there, it's a different ball game.
Right. I'll give you that.
You come here, okay. You come here, ball game's over. You go play on that carpet that they're used to playing on, it's a little bit different ball game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But I think both the Eagles and Dallas have exposed Minnesota.
Well, if you think about it too, real quick, all the quarterbacks. Although Jimmy G got to a Super Bowl, but there's questions about him in a big game. There's questions about Cousins in a big game. There's questions about Prescott in a big game.
Absolutely.
We have not seen Hurts in these kind of situations. So like every one of these NFC teams that are in contention has a quarterback question, at least in the big game. You have guys who are having great years. Jalen's having a great year. Cousins is putting up monster numbers. But in the big game, how do these guys respond? We don't know right now.
True.
I think that's a little
true.
piece of this thing.
You're so true. You got a lot of questions. The quarterback plays the most closely watched, entertaining football game in all the quarterbacks you just mentioned. You're right. It's perfectly said.
Bro, the quarterback is the number one position in sports, period.
Absolutely.
Bar none.
And look at all the quarterbacks you're talking about in the NFC compared to the AFC. They have their question marks in big games.
Yeah.
Garoppolo, Dak, Cousins, Jalen, we don't know yet.
Right.
We got to see it.
Brady's the only proven one, but how compromised is his team? Yeah,
absolutely.
Fun fact here before we take a timeout. The Jags going into yesterday's game in the fourth quarter were down by more than a touchdown. Their record in franchise history when they were trailing by 7 points or more going into the final minute of a game was 0-75.
What?
I'm sorry, 0-175.
What?
They snapped an 0-for-175 streak where they trailed by 7+ with a minute left in the game, and they end up winning the game and beating Ravens. And by the way, Ravens have a problem with coughing up leads. Major problem with that.
Yeah, they do still.
They do not finish at all.
I don't know what it is about that defense.
And it's both sides of the ball. It's bad turnovers on offense. It's the defense unable to get a big stop. It's both sides. That could bite them big time in the playoffs, Baltimore. All right, we're going to time out. We'll come back. We'll do a little Sixers playing extremely well, surprisingly, without the talent that they're missing, even though they're not playing the best teams. Flyers, I would say not playing extremely well would be the way I would put it for the Flyers. So we'll dive into that. We'll do some birthdays. We'll do some movies. We got all kinds of stuff in store for you. In the final segment, we'll swing it back to the Eagles as well. Derek, Barrett, Rob, we are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. We'll be right back.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted, revered.
Appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate. Honest.
And fair.
He is extremely dedicated,
Motivated. And always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader, and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
We're back. Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network on this Monday, hanging out with you. Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks. So, guys, just to divert off the football for 1 second, the Sixers have won 3 of 4 without Embiid, Harden, and Maxey. Now, granted, they twice beat Orlando, who's terrible. They took care of business against Brooklyn, which was a great win for them. But to win 3 out of 4, I don't care who you're playing, and they have Atlanta tonight, which is going to be tough. Without that group, without Embiid and Harden and Maxey, is really difficult. I give them a lot of props for the way that they've shown up here of late.
Yeah. For whatever reason, they seem to play as a better cohesive unit with those 3 out. Who's back tonight? Anybody? Any of them?
No, none of them.
Wow,
none of them.
That's a tough test, but
it's going to be hard. And the Sixers played last night, and they're playing Atlanta. Atlanta's good. Yeah. Tonight's going to be tough. I think tonight's going to be tough. Yeah.
Is it home?
Yes, it's at Wells Fargo. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, so I will say this: like Tobias Harris has really picked it up in the other guy's absence. Shake Milton has really picked it up in the other guy's absence.
My guy Shake, Shake's my guy.
Shake's playing great. DeAnthony Melton's done a really nice job for them. Paul Reed's done a really nice job for them. there have been a lot of guys, B-ball Paul, who have all, come up big. And here's what I think you could maybe glean from this. I don't know about Tobias. I think once the other guys come back, he gets kind of shoved aside a little bit. But maybe this sparks Shake to be that guy off the bench that gives it to them every night.
He's been that guy, though.
Yeah, but I said earlier in the season, why was he not utilized early? He was buried on the bench.
Yeah,
it was like did not play. Coach's decision. 2 minutes, 4 minutes, and I'm like, wait a minute. He contributed well last season. How did he get in the doghouse all of a sudden? But I think what they're going through now is extremely beneficial for this team if they ever get healthy. In terms of relying on your bench, because I think they need to utilize a much deeper bench. When all the guys are healthy, I think they're playing the starters way too many minutes, to be honest.
Yeah, and what's that going to look like at the end of the year? Those guys
exactly.
You're right, man, because and it is not necessarily – I don't think it's necessarily that he's been in the doghouse or anything like that. I just don't think that Doc likes to play – younger guys. I think that's it. With the exception of Maxey, he just doesn't want to play guys off the bench. He wants to play his starters. I think that's his mode of operation.
You might be right, but that's going to come back and bite you in the behind.
It's been biting them.
You look at the better teams. You look at the better teams. They're 8-9 men deep. In their rotations. These guys are playing 42, 43 minutes, 39 minutes. I mean, you can only push that so far before they physically and mentally wear down.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we'll see. And again, there's no real specific timetable on. We know Maxey's probably going to be a little bit longer, but Embiid and Harden appear to be getting closer to coming back. So we'll keep our eye on that. When that is, I don't know. I was looking at their schedule and what they have coming up here for the Sixers. They're in Houston, and this might be maybe Harden wants to go back to Houston and play in that game. I don't know, but they're in Houston a week from today, December 5th. Maybe. Maybe, right?
Yeah.
I will tell you this. I think the next 3 games, they're in big trouble. They get Atlanta tonight. They're at Cleveland on Wednesday, and they're at Memphis on Friday.
Yes. But you know what? Against Memphis, I'm trying to see if they can keep up with the tempo that Memphis puts out.
I was
with
just
the younger
saying.
team. Yeah.
Yep. Memphis is going to be a track meet.
Yeah, John Morant's nasty.
Oh.
He is nasty. All right, so the flip side of that is there's the positive. Don't say we don't ever give you the positive. There's the Flyers.
Do we have to?
We kind of do. We can make it fast. It's like ripping a Band-Aid off. But they've lost 10 straight, guys, and they've really been non-competitive in those losses. Like, mind you, good teams, but the Penguins game on Friday, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, non-competitive game here. There were chants for fire Chuck Fletcher coming from the stands. They went to the Islanders and lost 5-2 Saturday. Again, these are really good teams for the most part. And they play the Islanders again at home on Tuesday. Then they have Tampa. Then they have New Jersey. Then they have Colorado. Then they get Washington.
Jeez.
Then they get Vegas.
All I can say is, can we have a moment of silence? Amen.
I'm telling you, man.
Can we just have a moment of silence, please?
They way overachieved early. It gave some people a little bit of a false sense of maybe they're not as bad as we thought, and then they have crashed back down to reality.
You kept telling me, though.
Yeah.
You kept telling me. You kept saying, B, just calm down a little bit, B. I don't want to burst your bubble. I love what they're doing.
I had hope.
I love this hockey team, but that's not what you're going to get. That's not going to be the norm for you, just so you know.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, I will say this for someone like me who likes hockey, who followed the Flyers their whole life, to see them in this state of disrepair is tough because they're totally irrelevant and they're hard to watch. If I'm just being honest, like you guys know me, I'll watch almost anything sports wise.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a hard time getting through a whole Flyers game.
You'll watch flipping quarters.
I will. I have a hard time getting through a full Flyers game. Truthfully, I just do. So anyway, we do have Monday Night Football tonight. It's not a great one. It's the Steelers at the Colts. Colts are 2.5-point favorites in this one. Steelers 3-7, Colts 4-6-1.
And I'll watch.
I'll watch also.
I'll sit there and watch.
Yeah, I'll watch. I watch with a curious eye on a couple things. I want to continue to get an evaluation on Pickett to see what he is. I want to see what they look like in their third game under Saturday. I want to see how much what was their performance last week against the Eagles an outlier, like just little things like that. When I watch this game tonight,
I just watch number one because it's football, but number two, like you just said, Rob, I'm looking at scenarios. Matt Bryan, Kenny Pickett. I love watching Pittsburgh's wide receivers play. I love watching Jonathan Taylor play. I just watch because it's the game, Thursday night I'll watch if it's a dud, and then Saturday I'm flipping around watching like 10 different college football games. I just watch because it's football, and all of a sudden you look up and the season's over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're already in the conference championship games in college football this weekend.
I know, right? It's
ridiculous. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then you have that lull period before the insignificant bowl games will start, and I'll watch some of those, and then you national championship, and all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah,
right.
It ends that quick. We do have a good Thursday night game, Buffalo and New England.
Oh, that's going to be a grudge match.
That game's in New England. That's good. That is actually going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm looking a little bit ahead at the card. There's some good games. Jets, Vikings, Washington against New York.
Yep.
Eagles, Titans. That's going to be a very good one as well. Miami at San Francisco.
Ooh.
Kansas City at Cincinnati. Okay. Okay. We got something going this week. So we got some matchups this week.
Hey, I see. Not to break your flow, Rob, but T Fortuna just asked me to ask Barrett a question about Thanksgiving morning. He was not very happy. Oh, he wasn't very hungry.
Yeah.
What happened?
I went fishing on Thursday morning.
You did?
Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yes, I went fishing, and needless to say, it's the first time I got seasick in about 3 years.
You got seasick?
Yeah, I was seasick, man. I didn't throw
you
up.
Pulled a yaki? You pulled a yaki?
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. Oh my goodness. And look, I'm gonna send you guys. I'll let Captain Tony do it. Send him. I was sick, bro. All I'm gonna say, I'm sick.
How far did you go?
Did you have to come back in? Like, was it that?
No. I'm never doing that. I'm gonna always stay out there. I'm gonna give it a the old college football heave ho. You know what I'm saying? But
how far did you guys go out?
We weren't even 5 miles out. You could see the land easy.
And you got seasick?
Yeah, I guess. Well, it was. I'm not used to that type of fishing we did. We had a trolling motor that spot locked and put us right there. I'm used to like when I ride with Tony, Captain Tony. Like we kind of we go into the wind and we go into the waves. We face into the waves, so it's a lot better. We were like sidewise on the waves, and the waves had the boat going like this. And I was sick as a dog. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So I went and ate, and once I got the food down, I got the hoagie down, then I was good. You know what I'm saying? It kind of settled down a little bit. But bro, this is me going out there and coming back. It was 4-foot waves. Man, that little boat, man, we were on a little 23-footer. And it was, oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Oh, Captain Tony just sent me an interesting picture.
Oh boy. All right, we'll get that up. You want to send it to Xander?
Here we go.
I think Xander has it. I think he has it.
Xander, if you let me know if you have that. So we got
Xander. No, you don't, Xander.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you do.
We did get yeah.
Interesting.
We got kind of an update from Nick Sirianni on CJ Gardner-Johnson. He said that he's in pain. There's further testing going on right now. They're still evaluating him for an injury in the ribs area.
Crack ribs. I'm telling you right now. I've been told that there's a crack in those ribs. Unless it's cartilage, but when I was told, it's a good possibility ribs are cracked. I still can't figure out how he cracked. There he is.
That's our Barrett update. Using the tarp as your blanket right there, Barrett. Is that the move?
That's actually my rain gear that I had. I just put over my body. I'm like, oh my God, what is going to see? Look, we're close. You see the land right
you're
there.
not far. Yeah, you're not far out. Yeah. Was this how quickly did it hit you? Like, were you in trouble early? As soon as you went out?
No, because I was good going out there. But when we stopped and I started fishing, I'm like, what is this feeling? What is going on?
And when was the last time you got seasick?
Like 3 or 4 years ago. Last time I got seasick, the first time I went fishing with Tony, and he had a smaller boat then. He had a 28-foot pursuit. And we were out there. I'm going out there, and I was chumming fish. I was chumming for the fish.
Oh,
You
were chumming for the water, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I was chumming. You know what I'm saying? But after that, after I started sleeping on the boat, and once I started sleeping on the boat, it's easier. You know what I'm saying? He's almost sorry, Barry. No, you're not sorry.
You would blame me for something like that. I'm glad somebody else gets you every now and then.
See, that's why I say he's not sorry. But once I started sleeping on the boat and everything and going fishing all the time, I was good. But I hadn't done this type of fishing. Usually we're trolling, and we're moving while we're fishing.
Right.
Or, when I go and I'm on a bigger boat and we turn into the waves instead of going, staying sideways with the waves. So when you're going up, you're going like this.
That's a lot of moving.
Oh man, it was. I was pent up against the center console. I was pent up against it, like, whoa. And then we were doing this complicated fishing. We were going tog fishing. Tog fishing is a lot different from fishing, any other fishing. In fact, D-Gun, you think you're a fisherman? Come on, try tog fishing.
No,
it'll learn you. It'll learn you.
You don't catch me yakking over the side of a boat.
No, it's not. I'm talking about the fishing is complicated. Like, you could be on the rocks and fish for tog. They're in the rocks.
Right.
And they don't bite like usually the fish bite. Like they'll kind of clamp on it, but they won't like swallow the hook. They'll just come tap on it, and you have to wait till they start swimming away with it. But when they're swimming away with it, you got to yank them. But then you got to set the hook, and then you got to reel it in up a little bit because they'll shoot back down into the rocks. They're hard fighting fish. And once they get back in the rocks, you're not getting them out. So it's a tough way to fish, man. You got to know exactly how to do it.
Barrett, it seems that yakking runs in your family.
Leave my girl alone.
Hey, how dare you bring her up again?
All right, you know what I'm saying? Come on.
Not cool. That is not cool. All right, let's do birthdays. Yeah, I'm not going to let you pick on Yoki. All right. Yaki. All right. Ed Harris, the actor who's in a lot of stuff, man.
I love Ed Harris.
Very prolific career. He is 72 today, Ed Harris. The comedian, host, and activist Jon Stewart is 60 years old today.
Hey, my godson, Rashir Gray.
There you go.
Yeah, from Empire.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my godson. Yeah, it's
nice.
my godson.
Yeah. His birthday today?
Yeah, his birthday's today.
Awesome.
29. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Trey Songz is 38 years old.
Yep.
I'm yeah. I'm happy that this guy's still around. I was surprised he's still around. Barry Gordy from Motown.
Motown.
Oh, yeah.
He's 93, man.
Isn't that something?
He's still doing it.
Founder of Motown, baby. What a career that was.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Randy Newman, the singer, is 79 years old. Paul Schaefer, who was David Letterman's, music guy forever. Yeah. 73 years old.
Michael Blackston.
Yeah, Michael Blackston. It's his birthday.
49.
Yep.
50.
He's 50. Okay.
Yeah.
S. Apatha Merkerson, who's Law and Order, been in a ton of stuff. But I remember her most from Law and Order, 70 years old. Judd Nelson from Breakfast Club and New Jack City.
Yeah.
Yep.
New Jack City, baby. My movie.
I thought he'd do more. He didn't do much after New Jack City.
No, he didn't. He kind of faded into oblivion. Yeah. I thought he was a good actor, to be honest.
I did too. I thought he was really good in that role. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you watched New Jack City, Barrett, you would know who he was.
Barrett's never seen New Jack City?
Yeah, I've always seen New Jack City.
He said who? How could you not know who?
He's the white dude. Well, I can say it. Somebody will say it.
Oh, the little short.
No, he wasn't short. I don't think he wasn't short.
Oh,
he had a goatee, black goatee, like
he was one of the cops.
He was a cop. Yeah.
Did you really watch the movie, Barrett?
Yeah, but I only know the parts that you always say. That's only. I mean,
I've seen that stupid movie 100 times, man. I love that movie.
Anna Nicole Smith was born in 1967. She passed away very young. Yeah, Anna Nicole Smith. Karen Gillian, actress, is 35 years old. I didn't have much else actor or actress wise or athletes. You guys have more?
Jarvis Landry's 29.
Yep.
Oh,
29 is 30. Where you get your dates from?
Well, I mean, I'm just going by what the thing says. I mean, I don't know her. I mean, I didn't ask them. I didn't call her mom. Hey, how old is
their birth certificates right now?
Hey, look.
Right.
If you're gonna spit out a name, get the facts. Know the facts.
Jon Stewart, you already said Jon Stewart.
60. He's 60 today. Yep.
Andrew Bogut, 38.
Okay.
Sage Steele is 50.
ESPN, 50.
Yeah.
Is she 50?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leandro Barbosa, former NBA player, 49.
Phoenix Sun.
Correction, 40. 40 years old.
Okay.
We have Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who played on the NBC series Soap. What is it? Soap Passions. Yeah.
Okay.
Soap Passions. Alan Richson, who played in Smallville.
Okay.
You ever watch Smallville?
Yeah.
A lot of people watch that. I never watched
the Superman thing, right?
I watched, yeah, of course. You know, I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Daniel Henney, 42, X-Men's Origin Wolverine and Hawaii 5-0. Criminal Minds also. He's 42 today.
Okay.
And Chase Elliott, NASCAR driver. Barrett, you should know the NASCAR stuff, man.
I love Chase Elliott. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got to tell you, I didn't see many movies that were even worthy. I'll be frank. There wasn't much.
No.
You guys got anything you liked? I didn't like any.
Chameleonaire, the rapper. He's 40.
Oh, that's right, Chameleonaire. Okay,
He's 43. Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, but movies, only one I saw was Paddington, the kids' movies, and that came out in 2014. That's the only one I saw.
Yeah, it was not a stellar day for movies.
No.
You know, that is.
So, have you guys seen Wakanda Forever?
I've not seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Yeah.
Tell you what I did the last weekend.
What?
I watched Top Gun.
Oh, you finally watched it?
Finally watched Top Gun. So my wife and I, we were putting up Christmas Day. I said, let's watch a movie. We need a break. I look over, 20 minutes in the movie, she's snoring. I'm like, what? Are you serious?
Of course.
So I said, you know what? I'm not stopping the movie, because she'll wake up and say, can you roll it back for like 5 minutes? I missed it. I'm like,
yeah.
You know, so I watched
Did you
most
like it?
of it. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it.
It was good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
I love the
really
tribute that was paid to Goose.
Yeah,
in
they
the
did a
movie.
nice
Yeah.
job with that. You know.
Yeah, they did.
But I thought all in all it was good. All right, so we're up against it here, and coming up is the National Football Show. I know, like I always give you the
Fat Man
option.
Scoop. Hold on, Fat Man Scoop. It's his birthday.
Fat Man Scoop.
Yep, Fat Man Scoop. And Styles P from the
There you go.
Locks.
There you go.
It's his birthday.
We got them all. We hit them all. All right. So the National Football Show with Dan Cilio coming up. I want to thank Xander Krause, produced the program. Everybody in the chat section, everybody streaming, everybody watching. We're back at it same time tomorrow. I'll actually be on with Jeff Kerr tomorrow at 7:20. So bright and early. Let's do this thing.
I hope to join you guys tomorrow. It's a possibility.
Derek may be on board.
I may be. It depends on how Barrett ticks me off between now and then.
Exactly.
Well, I don't want you to be on there. I want D Gun to be on.
Ouch.
You want D-Gun tomorrow?
Yeah, I want D Gun tomorrow.
Okay. Maybe we'll see D-Gun. You never know. You got to stay tuned. All right. That'll do it for us. Everybody have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow at noon Eastern. We are Sports Take. Thanks for hanging out.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted, revered.
Appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate. Honest.
And fair.
He is extremely dedicated,
Motivated. And always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader. And we're lucky to have him.